What was it? Docs, stats, docs, chat. Hopefully the chat actually works this time. Live chat. Let me test. It says I'm live, but I never trust that. So let me just find out. It says I'm live. Live. All right. All right. Got that. And this time, I got this thingy, which I can always double check the chat on the actual stream and not just through OBS. So if I just shrink this down, that way, hopefully I'll be able to actually see if someone actually wants to chat and not just ignoring it. All right. Double checking everything. Everything looks good to go. I'll wait a little bit, but I don't know why. But I am so backed up. I got so much shit to watch. So much stuff is happening. I don't know if people prefer if I like just stick to doing videos or not. But for like, I mean, obviously there are like a lot of shorter clips that I want to piece together to make an actual video, right? But for these like, cause like I need to keep like a note system or something, right? Cause there are some pre-streams that like the whole pre-stream podcast of his or whatever you want to fucking call it is full of gold, full of salt, full of gold, like a gold mine. You got to what did they used to call it? Salt mine, gold, whatever, gold dust. Yeah, it's full of gold dust. We're bringing that term back. So it's like, So for those, which of like, and some of them, I don't remember if it's the right pre-stream podcast or not. So it's like, well, if I have to go through this whole ass pre-stream podcast or whatever just to see if it is the right one or not, I might as well just do it live so that way I can like get to learn how to do things live and everything. And like if there is good stuff there, good. And if there isn't, oh well. And I still try to make it as entertaining as possible or whatever. Um or if it's like a little lull, a little boring, maybe I'll try to edit it or whatever. But for the smaller clips that I just want to like add and make like it into like a whole video theme, I'll do that. But for these I'm just trying to, so I think they'll be good hopefully. Hmm. Sorry about that. All right. I guess we'll just get started. Let me just make sure this is live because I don't even know anymore. Like, I'm using OBS. I got the stat, but you can't ever truly tell. Alright, I guess we'll just get started. Ugh, I don't sound like that, do I? I hate the sound of my voice. Alright, so let's get started. First I wanted to start with this. It's like he had like a little mini pre-stream on the night show, listen to me. Oh my gosh. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty, okay? He had a little like mini pre-stream on his night stream, and I wanted to go over that first.
The big cat.
Sat down. Just sat down and have a coffee in hand, waiting for it to cool on this lovely Monday night. How is everyone tonight? Welcome to the Chill Late Night stream. I hope you're all in a good mood tonight and ready to relax and enjoy the demon slaying. As we continue on with my Diablo 4 playthrough, tonight will be story development. Because tonight we're going to be heading back to a major waypoint for the story. Last stream we actually spent all of our time exclusively doing like side dungeon content and getting some pretty good upgrades. If you remember, I ended up getting some better loot. I ended up getting one or two, what are they called, the aspects or something? They're specific abilities for your class once you complete an optional dungeon, and we had 2 of those equipped by the end of the stream. So I think now we're ready to dive back into the story and see where it takes us. All right, I hope you guys are ready for that. And as you know, when we play Diablo, it's definitely a more interactive stream where we have opportunity to talk and relax and interact and have a good time, as opposed to
that wasn't quite how it worked, though, was it, Phil?
Super hyper focused on Street Fighter and must play competitive and lose track of time, right? So how's everyone doing? By the way, my neck, dude, my neck was hurting me so bad earlier today. I guess what happened was it was either me sleeping weird or me playing on a fighting game joystick.
I'm so old I hurt myself by sleeping. I mean, I might be getting there in age because, like, I mean, I'm not as old as he is, but sometimes I do have nights where it's like, what the hell did I do when I was sleeping?
You know, as I've been for the last week and a half, man, my neck, I guess I had pinched a nerve or something. I had strong shooting pain down
too much gamer glare, too much like gamer posing.
Shoulder blade, it was going all the way through the back of my arm into my pinky, and it was bad. Like I was trying to play.
That's a stroke, Phil. I think maybe you should go to the hospital for that.
I was like, dude, this sucks. I can tell you right now,
dude, this sucks.
It's actually feeling a lot better.
Oh, thank God, he's okay.
I relaxed and wasn't playing games during the break or whatever it was. A lot of the pain has gone away, so that's a good thing. Again, I don't know what caused it. I hope it doesn't continue, because tomorrow we're using a new character. We're using Marisa in Street Fighter 6, and when I'm using a new character, my goodness, do I need to be here and have 100%. You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, oh, my hand's killing me. How the hell am I going to, you know, be doing this kind of stuff?
Snort.
My wife theorizes probably because I'm playing Street Fighter so much, and, you know, she may be right. She said, you know, you don't usually play fighting games.
Kind of an idiot, but
you do. It used to be like
right.
Once a week. You know, you haven't been actively playing fighting games every day for how many years? I was like, actually, geez, the last time I played fighting games every day was probably Street Fighter 4. So you're talking over 10 years ago, right? Like, that's a long time. A lot changes, especially to your body when you're getting older and everything. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just getting older. My body can't even really take it anymore. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens overnight into tomorrow and go from there. So... Sarah says, I'm enjoying your Diablo streams the most. Much more chill and positive than Street Fighter and Tears of the Kingdom. No, I think Tears of the Kingdom is chill and positive, too. We had a really good time the other night in the Goron village and exploring on the mine carts and everything. That was pretty good fun, too, I would say. I think this and Zelda are equally chill and fun. Street Fighter just is not.
But you never play Zelda anymore.
To play in any game, you're not going to get that chill.
He's just all he's doing is playing Street Fighter 6 all the time,
and or not get bodied constantly.
And then one time he's fucking playing Diablo.
Jade, good evening. Good to have you here.
Jeez.
The Blim says 100%. You got to bring back Friday night fights. I reckon. For now, Street Fighter is staying daytime streams. So as long as Street Fighter remains daytime streams, no, it's not going to be Friday Night Fights. But eventually,
which is really stupid to have that as
I've played through the
really
game with all the
stupid to have that
characters,
as
all
a
the characters
daytime
I'm interested
stream.
in,
I think.
and I kind of understand them, and I've kind of honed it in on, okay, these are the ones that I want to continue to use in the future. Yeah, then we'll have probably like Friday Night Fights every Friday night fighting games, usually Street Fighter 6, and maybe even another day a week where I do it. We'll see. Dark Goldbox says, how's it going? New Ubisoft Star Wars game.
Smacking you up right into the mic.
Tonight, I'm going to watch both the Ubisoft Forward and the Capcom.
And, like, that's another problem. It's like he has no filters for his mic whatsoever. Like, I'm not the best tech expert, right? I'm not. So I'm trying my best. I'm still learning OBS, even now. I still don't know how to do scenes yet. I think I'm gonna try to do some research and set it up so I can like maybe have it look a little bit better for you guys. I mean, if that's something you guys would want. I'm not even sure if anyone's even, maybe for the people who are watching this later on, because I don't think I even have anyone watching right now, but I'm still trying to learn, right? So, whatever. But I did set up filters for my mic. I did. So I have like a limiter, gain, equalizer. I think there's some other ones too. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Actually, I can look it up right now. Hold on a second. Yeah, I got a noise suppressant, a 3-band equalizer, an expander, a compressor, a limiter, and the gain set. So I have the air conditioning going and I have a fan in the background. But you can't really hear that though, because if you get too far away from the mic, it's not going to pick it up that much. Yeah, see, I'm clapping. Now you're starting to hear it. But my fan's a ways back, the air conditioning's a little farther away, so it's not going to pick up every single little noise in my room, right? But he doesn't have any of that. So every single little microscopic pin drop that you hear that's in his room, you're going to hear it on his dumbass mic. That's why his smacks and his burps and all his fucking noises are so damn loud. And it's like, dude, like, you need to, like, and I just watched, like, a 5-minute video that taught me how to set up different filters on my OBS. It's not that long and hard of a thing. I need to do that for scene creation. I still need to do that when I have time. But yeah, it's like, it's not hard to just like learn how to make something or how to like improve a little bit. And we all know how old his mic is, but I know some detractors use the same mic he does and it sounds a lot better. So it's not his mic.
Presentation, whatever it was called, from today, so that I know what was presented. I'll talk about some of it on the podcast tomorrow, and then either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, I'm going to be filming a recap reactions for Xbox, Starfield, Ubisoft, Capcom, like a 4-in-1 video. Probably it's going to be lengthy, I would think. Maybe
I don't
like
know why anyone really
half an hour
cares
to an
about his
hour.
reaction to things, because his
But it's going to
opinions
summarize
are always
all my
trash.
thoughts on all of those things. But yeah, I still have to watch Ubisoft and Capcom tonight, so I'm not going to have any opinions on that stuff till I see it. Of course, yes, Mortal Kombat 1 for Friday nights is good too. Keep in mind, Street Fighter right now is the hottest thing. It's June. But this year we got Mortal Kombat 1 coming out in September, and then we've got, at some point, supposedly, Tekken 8 coming out. So whenever those come out, yeah, those obviously I'm going to be playing those games too and giving them some time in my rotation. Yeah, my ruin says I fell asleep during the Capcom presentation. That seems to be the consensus. I see so many people online saying, I wish they didn't do one. It was so bad, I actually wish they did nothing, because I'd rather have them not present anything than present badly like they did. And I'm like, wow, that's a pretty bad consensus to hear from your customer base. So I wonder what they did. Yes, Frank, maybe eventually we'll play with members. Here's the thing. I know, I'm trying to figure out how to make it work, right? Because the way Street Fighter 6 is set up, it's cross-platform, right? You can play with people on PlayStation or PC or Xbox. It's all crossover. But can you make a lobby that you can do that? Or is it like you can play ranked, you can play casual against anyone, but if you want to make a lobby, it's region-specific, or I should say platform-specific, right? I don't know, because I haven't dabbled with that yet. In addition, Some people are like, well, it should be cross-platform because there's Capcom ID. You're right, but if I turn on my Capcom ID, all that's going to happen is trolls are going to spam it nonstop like they did launch day. You remember that whole first 3-hour stream? It was literally fight request, fight request, fight request, fight request. There's no way to block it. It's completely screwed up. They're so dumb they didn't make it so that, you know, you can stop pop-ups. Instead, you either turn it on or you turn it off. And if I turn on Capcom ID interactions and requests, I don't know how I'm even going to make it work to get people in a lobby when it's just request, request, request constantly. You see? So I don't know how.
I mean, I thought he said something interesting in this, but
I'm
might be
interested in
wrong.
doing it for sure, but I don't know if it's viable yet. We'll
Because
have to
so
see
far
moving
it's just
forward.
kind of.
You know, it might be this simple. All right. Instead of doing Capcom ID shit, it could be if the words, let's say the rooms can be made private and they're password protected. If that's the case, I can set a private room, make a password, and just post it up on a members only post, and say, here's the password, everyone. Use it now if you want to get in. You know, whoever gets in, congrats. And then we do it that way. You know, we could do it maybe that way. I don't know. Again, I don't know until I dabble in it. I don't feel comfortable enough with the game to do it yet. I say, give me some more time to learn more characters, to get better at the game. And then once I feel like I've got my bearings, then I will consider doing that stuff. But that's the thing. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I know people are excited. I mean, look, it took me a week and a half just to try World Tour mode, right? A week and a half. So slow but steady progress, okay? Sarah says, why do you think game developers are struggling to make good-looking 60 frames per second games on current gen of consoles? Seems like even AAA publishers have given up. You'd have to ask them, but it's funny because they all have different answers. Like, someone made a good point on Twitter. They're like, how is it the Horizon Forbidden West? The entire game runs a smooth 60. But look at that world. It's vibrant. It's interactive. It doesn't even have loading times except for the instances, for example, the cauldrons. But the open world is gorgeous. It runs at full 60. You've got giant, complex, vibrant robots moving through the environment. You've got entire tribes doing things and interacting. How is it that game can do it, but a game where you're driving a spaceship around a mostly barren planet can't? I don't really have an answer. I really don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that I could answer that, but I just don't understand what's going on with game development these days. I'm not a game developer myself. You know, I'm sure everyone will give a different answer, you know. Oh boy. All right, anyway, guys, so tonight, chill stream of Diablo, all right? Any contributions tonight to support my chill streaming efforts would be greatly appreciated, whether it be as simple as simply liking this stream and giving it some engagement on YouTube. That would be stellar. Interacting with me during the stream would be great. If you'd like to go above and beyond and possibly contribute to the stream, you could do a super chat or a super sticker, perhaps a membership or a gifted membership.
And
you know,
more
we were
begging.
107 members before the break, and it looks like 10 expired during the break. It would be great to maybe get those back tonight. Get back up to 807. A tip would be great. Earlier today,
Oh yeah, I'm
around
sure it
70
would
bucks
be
a tip
really
on the
great to
stream.
tip me.
Not
Please
bad,
tip me.
But I always aim to try to hit around, 100 between the streams, and be great if tonight we could maybe see a hat, since we didn't get one earlier today. That's the $100 tips goal, right? It's all about what you guys want to do. So let's see. Well, you guys are in a generous mood tonight. Thanks in advance. Really, I appreciate that.
Thank
Arkham,
you,
I got your
you
email,
worthless.
but I can't access that
and then
stuff
some
from my
more
phone. I
on
have to do it
gifted
exactly
5
from my
memberships.
desktop,
Jesus.
and I didn't
These
even
people
get
are
a chance to sit down
cucks.
at my desktop and do it yet. I'll look at it tonight. Okay, Arkham, thank you. Speak of the devil, G Dizzy is here and gifted 5 memberships. Congrats to Soundless Blade, Escanor Sin of Pride, Gaming Guru, Nate Drake, and Aaron is Buddha. A 5-member bomb dropped by G Dizzy. Thank you so much, G Dizzy, for supporting the community here on DSP Gaming.
Thank you
and
so
if you just got into the
much.
membership, please be sure to thank G Dizzy for the
Thank you, G
support and the freebie
Dizzy.
there, right?
You're such
very,
a
very nice. Thank you so much.
Let me sip my coffee some more.
Gaming Guru says, I got my crown back. There you go. Arkham, I just answered you.
I thought there was
Arkham, I just
something he
I
said
got
in
your
here. I
email,
was
but it
watching
doesn't
it
work on
last
my phone
night.
because it doesn't work that
Oh,
way. I have to do it
he
from
is
my
going
desktop.
pretty
I haven't
long.
been on my desktop yet
Yeah,
to
look
check
how
it out. I'll
long
check it
he
out
goes,
tonight, okay?
just
Thank you.
until he
I will.
starts the
I
actual
literally just said
gameplay.
that.
And this is a night stream. But I might be
It's all
wrong.
good,
Maybe
man.
he didn't mention anything that good in here. I don't remember.
Dex, yes and no.
That's
Dex
why
says,
we're doing
you have
this.
to understand
Find
hardware
out.
in current gen consoles is actually 5 years old or older now. you're right, but again, Horizon Forbidden West, like, this is a game from last year running on that 5-year-old tech, and it was absolutely graphically gorgeous, right? Or God of War Ragnarok, right? These are games that pulled off some amazing things, and in most cases didn't even have loading. So how did they do it, but all these other games can't? It just, you know, it does blow my mind that, oh, just accept that it's 30 frames per second. No, we shouldn't. We actually shouldn't have to settle for that. Sorry that I'm not a game dev. All I know is as a consumer, I'm not getting equivalent experiences across the games that I'm paying the same amount of money for. So you can make all the excuses in the world because you're a game dev, but that doesn't mean jack diddly squat to the customer who paid $70 to get an insanely good graphical experience last year, and now they're going to pay $70 for an experience that's far inferior this year. That doesn't make sense to them. You understand? Like, we don't care about the technical aspects of what held you back. Either you do it or you don't. You got to be in line with your competition. It's that simple.
What?
Shout out to Radical Jaws with a super chat tonight. It's actually a dancing Shiba Inu super sticker there. Thank you so much, Radical Jaws, for the first YouTube side contribution there in the chat. Thank you, thank you. All right. Oh. I'm digging the coffee tonight. It tastes good. So, guys, you got anything else to chat about before we begin with Diablo? We're going to jump into Diablo in just a minute here. So, anything else you guys want to talk or chat about or get off your chest? Shia says, I sent a tip earlier. Did you get it? Let's take a look. You mean on this very stream here? Or do you mean earlier, like the first stream? I got nothing right now. Let me take a look. I think PayPal screwed up again. PayPal was working for 2-3 days there, and now it looks like the notifications are all messed up again. Let me check. So let's see here. So here's the $8 tip we got from Radical Geef earlier. Then there is a, yeah, there's other tips here. Here we go from Shia. I believe, Shia, was this a $7 tip? See, I have to try to figure it out because it gives me the after deductions amount, which is always weird. The app is weird. If I was on my desktop, it would show me exactly what you sent. The app shows you like after deductions shit. So I always try to guess what you did. It was 666. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that. I will play you the proper animation. It's weird that this stupid app doesn't... Why doesn't the app just show me what you sent? No, I'm going to show you a different amount. So stupid, right?
Well, this is a dud. Maybe
Anyway,
I should just...
so,
mean...
Shia with a 666 tip says, I had your stream on in the background at work today. The one time I took a break to watch my boss walked in, I swear to you, and said, who's that, some kind of dork?
Oh, this is it. Yes. Who's this? Let me rewind it. This is what I remembered, and it was fucking so stupid.
Shia with a 666 tip says, I had your stream on in the background at work today. The one time I took a break to watch my boss walked in.
Imagine watching him for entertainment on your break while you are working. Imagine that first, right? It's like, oh, you're doing work, and you choose to watch him on your break.
I swear to you, and said, who's that, some kind of dork? Anyway, looking forward to more Diablo. Tell your boss.
Here it comes.
Here's what you tell your boss. And okay, don't tell him this, but here's what you should say. That dork is someone who sits at home and gets to enjoy video games with an audience of hundreds to thousands every day and makes a good living doing it while you're at some office job punching in a clock and typing on your computer all day, you schmuck.
Wow. Really? Phil, come on. That boss is making a lot more money than you are. Probably has benefits. Probably has a 401k. Probably gets health insurance. Like, probably salary, I would guess. Probably gets overtime. Has a steady and reliable source of income, unlike you. And you clearly do not stream to thousands of people a day. That's bullshit. You stream to maybe 200 or 300 people a day. And your income is not steady and reliable, and you have to fucking beg in order to pay your bills. I don't think so, Phil. Let's take that back one more time, though.
Okay, don't tell him this, but here's what you should say. That dork is someone who sits at home and gets to enjoy video games with an audience of hundreds to thousands every day and makes a good living doing it while you're at...
Good living doing it. When I beg, when I ask you guys for money...
office job punching in a clock and typing on your computer all day, you schmuck. So who's the dork? Yeah. Take that, you son of a bitch. By the way, do you know...
He has such thin skin. Like, holy shit, his skin is stretched so fucking thin.
You know what dork means? Giant whale penis. So you called me a giant penis.
Phil, you're nowhere near masculine enough to be called a giant penis. We all know you're fucking not.
By the way, do you know what dork means? Giant whale penis. So you called me a giant penis.
What? I mean, yes, that is technically true, but like, why would you know that, first of all? Why does your mind always go to penis, Phil?
But don't tell your boss I said that. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want you to lose your job over me. Thank you, Shia, for the first tip of the day. What is that? Some kind of dork? Meanwhile, he probably goes home to watch the fucking Masked Singer or Big Brother or something, right? Every night. Anyway, thank you, Chia, for the first tip of the night. And then we got a, let's see here. I got $1 tip. I think it's an anonymous tipper. He said, why aren't you playing Zelda or Diablo as a day stream this week? It would break up the monotony of Street Fighter every day. That being said, how long is it going to be Street Fighter every day? Your fans want to see more than in one game during the day. I hope next week isn't Street Fighter every day. Right now, I have to do Street Fighter during the day. Here's why. I can explain why. I don't have enough time in a 2-hour night stream to try a new character. It's not enough time because it takes about a half an hour to select the character, go into the guide mode, and do combo trials and just learn basics. And then getting around roughly 2 to 2.5 hours of multiplayer is kind of just enough to get that first session of a new character. I tried it as a night stream. It didn't work. There wasn't enough time. I need to have the daytime streams for this, okay? What I would say is once we get through Street Fighter and I've basically tried as many of the characters that I want to try, then I won't need daytime streams for it. It can be night streams because then I could do 2-hour multiplayer streams of whatever character I'm selecting for that night, and that's fine, you see? Or I could do like 1-hour segments and do 2 characters a night or something like that. But trying a new character, you need at least a 3-hour block, at least. So tomorrow, as of tomorrow, I believe I will have selected 9 of the characters, if I remember, if I'm counting correctly. I think it's 9. Hold on. I'll answer that right now. You ready? Hold on. Yeah, I've picked 8 already, see? So tomorrow I'm using Marisa. That's 9. The game has 18 characters. So as of tomorrow, about a week and a half into the game, I've selected half the cast. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pick every single character in the cast or not. Maybe I will, because, you know, probably just having that character knowledge, even if I end up not using some of those characters, just having the knowledge might help my overall game anyway. So doing 1 stream per character might make sense. But yeah, I would say it's gotta be a little bit longer where we have that as the focus. Now keep in mind, it's not gonna be just Street Fighter because in about a week, a little over a week, yeah, like a week and 3 days, Final Fantasy 16 comes out. And then it's going to be Final Fantasy 16 and Street Fighter balance, so you will have balance during the days. Okay. Now I'll be very honest with you.
You can balance it now, though. You can use you can play Diablo and Zelda during the day.
Nor
you're playing too much Street Fighter 6, Phil.
Daytime stream right now. Like Zelda was already dwindling massively in interest when it became a night stream, and quite frankly, I don't think Diablo ever would have. You know what I'm saying? Like Diablo is not that kind of game. I don't think. So. I'm just saying. I think that these are late night chill stream style games. You know what I mean? I think, you know, Final Fantasy balanced with Street Fighter will be good variety, and that's going to work, I think. Okay. So, guys, here's the deal. I got to pee real quick, and then we're going to start. Let me just go use the restroom. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm just going to run, use it, come right back.
And then he just fucking leaves? He just is gone. Oh my god, he still has... Where'd he go?
There's delivery missions, all kinds of like...
Alright, we're done. Alright, well, we're done with that one. Let's get to the actual one I wanted to actually watch. And this really shitty intro here.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. How are you all doing? Phil here, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Today is Saturday, the 10th of June, 2023, and it is React Day.
And
I know last week we were thrown a little bit off because my React Day was on Sunday rather than Saturday due to the release of Street Fighter 6, but now it's back to the usual Saturday daytime stream, which means DSP versus the internet will happen over on DSP Reacts right after this show. So, we have some stuff to talk about in regards to that show because the format is changing as of today, and we're going to see if the format change actually has helped the show. I hope it does, honestly.
Spoiler alert, it did not. I don't think he gained a single membership, extra membership because of it.
There were people who were basically becoming channel members over on DSP Reacts every week, submitting their videos up and never getting watched. And that's unfortunate. You know, it was a first come, first served basis.
Super unfortunate, dude.
I blame myself because
you should blame yourself.
When the channel started, we had about 30 members, and so it worked. But now that we have, 70, 80 members, at one point we had over 100, it's harder to get your video watched because it's a competition. And when there's a competition, people find ways to basically get ahead. And there were people who were literally every single week the first people to nominate the video that they wanted to see. And it was like, damn, the same person every week gets their video watched first. That's kind of crazy. So now we're doing a new random select process. We'll talk about that in a little second. I also have synced my my YouTube app here on my phone to the TV, so we can do this random select and see how it works.
What?
We do have, I would say, I think in the playlist.
Well, it's crazy that he's doing this all through his TV in the first place, isn't it? Because like, normal people would just do this, like, you can do this through your fucking YouTube. You can do this with your laptop that's right there next to you. You can stream on your laptop or have the... Sorry. Ugh. I'm always so gassy. I don't know why. But have your desktop PC capture your laptop screen and just watch these reacts through your laptop screen, and then you can shuffle and do all that crazy shit, right? I don't know.
30-something videos from standard members, and I think 7 ultra member videos. So there's still roughly around 40 videos queued up to be watched. Will we actually watch all 40 videos? Probably not. But we'll talk about that. Today I'd like to do an update on Street Fighter 6, a little bit about Zangief that I played yesterday. I actually have the win-loss record ready, and I have some things to talk about regarding the character. In fact, I just watched a video of someone else using Zangief pretty effectively. And it's, just literally, it's funny. You can watch a single round, one round of a fighting game of someone who's good knowing what they're doing.
Yeah, someone who's good, unlike you,
I got to use that next
who
time.
actually knows what to do with Mr. Fourth Place Evo.
So, talk about that. Outside of that, there's really no big game news or anything going on. The reason being is because all these conferences are about to be. You're going to have Microsoft and Starfield tomorrow. You've got Capcom and Ubisoft Monday / Tuesday. So there will be a lot of information coming out regarding video games in the next few days. And I am planning on talking about some of that on the podcasts coming up, and even possibly making a special video for DSP Reacts later this week. They'll essentially be my recap reactions on all the new stuff that's kind of been announced and or updated.
Again, why does anyone actually care about his react
for example,
or opinions on stuff like this?
Tomorrow will be like
because
2
his
hours
opinions
long,
are so trash.
20 minutes worth watching.
Always,
that's how they always are, So
I'd
like rather
most insane
summarize rather than sit here
opinions.
live with you guys 2-3 hours, wasting everybody's time, including mine, when I could be playing games.
You just don't want to get up early for it, Phil.
Give you my thoughts on it later. So
yeah, do my thoughts.
So anyway, no real game news today or anything like that. Likely this show will be a lot of interaction, meaning Q&A.
Great.
And if we end up
just
having to run out kind of stuff to talk about a little
bit. Like if he does,
side, maybe
why does
jump over to DSP Reacts on the earlier side?
Shut up. Why does he do like Q&A every like every fucking podcast he does Q&A, right? Everyone. It's like, so like is he just getting rid of the Ask the King bullshit now, right? Cuz like there's no point in doing an Ask the King thing if he's just doing Q&A every fucking day on his podcast anyway, correct? I don't know. It just doesn't make
We'll
any
see.
sense.
All right. But before we get to any of that, I think we should talk about schedule so everyone knows what's going on for the rest of the week. The video feed looks oversaturated today. It doesn't look oversaturated. I'm going to show you what it is. You ready? Here we go.
Still looks like shit.
Ready? Watch this. You notice how it looks completely different depending on the color that I'm using? I've noticed this. Did you notice that? So the lighting and everything adjusts based on the background color that I'm using. It looks different, right? Every time that I change the color, it changes. So if I go back to green, all of a sudden I look different. See that? Yeah, it all depends on the background.
We all know
color.
you're pale as shit, Phil, because you are not.
Some colors work better than others, but I like variety. Like I've been.
You have no actual
flush
flush color to your face. You're all like a fucking ghoul.
Tonight we're doing Zelda, and I was like, so we'll do green today. It'll make the camera makes me look a little yellowish, I think. But there's not much you can really do about that. You know, I'm not using super high grade professional stuff. There's no human behind the computer right now tweaking the settings as I stream. It's all automatic. I think it's sufficient for what we do here. Okay. Anyway. So, schedule-wise, let's talk about what you guys can expect, all right? So, today, it's DSP versus the Internet over on DSP Reacts. As soon as we finish this podcast, there'll be, if you're here live, you'll see it, a referral that says click here, head over to DSP Reaction, and we're about to start the show. And it's a 3-hour clips react show where basically I watch clips from all over the Internet that you guys have submitted, and I react to them. It's really the bread and butter of that channel. It's the one consistent thing that happens every week over on DSP Reacts, and it's channel members who nominate those videos. So if you're a channel member who's the ultra level, I'm absolutely guaranteed to watch your video, and there's 7 videos this week that are from ultra members that will absolutely be watching. Then we're going to switch over to a new playlist. This is the first time I'm doing this. The playlist will be random shuffle order. So I think if I take a look, I want to say that playlist had, let's see here. 27 videos. That playlist has 27 videos in it, and they're going to be in random order. So, you know, we don't know exactly what we're going to be watching. With 27 videos competing, will we watch them all? I mean, some of them are very short. Some of them look like they're 30-second videos, while others are like 10 minutes. So, you know, it all depends.
Well, maybe you should actually put a cap on how long a video can be that can be submitted. That would make sense, Phil.
So let's see how it goes. All right, let's enjoy together this random select style playlist. This put everyone on equal footing. Previously, like I said, it was first come, first serve, and what would happen is usually sometime during Sunday, I would post up on the community tab of the DSP Reacts channel a post saying, hey, you know, nominate your videos here, first come, first serve. And there were certain people who were absolutely on top of it, like Derek, Slayer, and 1 or 2 others. Every week would be like the first 4 to 5 people to post up, and so we'd always watch their videos first. Now, obviously, at first you can't really tell, but after a while, you see a pattern to emerge of the kind of videos that those guys like or want to see me watch, and you realize, okay, it's kind of more of the same over and over, right? So, because of that, people were starting to complain. It's not fair, you know, I'm a member, but I can't post up immediately when you have to post up that thread, and so the first come, first serve aspect of the show doesn't really work for us, and a lot of people, sadly, I hate to say, pulled their support, said we don't want to be members anymore because we're not getting our videos watched. And you know what? Fair enough. That's the kind of feedback I need. That's the kind of feedback that I need, I want to improve based upon. So thank you for sharing that and letting me know. So now, to this week is different, okay? We'll see how the show goes. I hope it goes better in the random order. It's going to be shuffled.
It's still going to be shit.
You know,
it's always going to be
shit. The shuffle system works because I'll be honest, sometimes the shuffle system is really weird. There used to be situations where I would press shuffle on my playlist of songs that I play for pre-stream music. Now, just to give you some perspective, that playlist has about 32 songs in it, and sometimes it would play the same song 2 to 3 times in a row. That's not necessarily a great shuffle, right? But I guess we'll see how it goes today. This is the first time we're doing it. Also, I'll be honest, I have had times where I have synced my app to the TV, and it just conked out.
OBS is saying that the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. That's something I never really understood how to adjust, I guess. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Hopefully, it still stays online. I don't really know. I don't really know what that means. I mean, I understand what it means. I don't know how to adjust that, but I'll just keep whatever because I don't think I can really adjust that.
Out right in the middle for no reason, just stopped working. So I hope that's not the case. I hope that it continues to work, and it doesn't cause too
I
much
hope
of
you
a
guys
problem
still keep giving me
for us
money.
here.
I kind of need
And
that
it
money.
should be good to have variety. So let's see.
Monet.
Now, if it works and we get variety and everyone's videos get watched or it's a different order or whatever, perhaps some people will be considering becoming a member again. Because like, oh wait, so it's equal now. Everyone has equal chance to be watched. I think that would be awesome. We can get a few more people back into the mix. Because like I said, this week we used to have sometimes 40 to 50 videos nominated. This week it's 34. So we're down. At the same time, we might not even watch all 34. It depends, right? It really does. So let's see how it goes today. I hope you'll join me over on DSP Reacts right after the show ends. Okay? Head over there and let's chill. Now, there is gameplay today on the late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It's the continuation of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is actually one of the reasons why I have the green coloring today. Whenever I play Zelda, I usually try to do green coloring in honor of the game. I haven't played the game for over a week. Last time around, we had finished up with the floating water dungeon / Zora dungeon, and we had headed towards the Goron area, and we had actually just arrived in the Goron area, and the quest was starting. We have to go talk to the Gorons to figure out what's going on with this and everything. So that's what we're picking up tonight, and I'm excited. Obviously, I want to see, every single major dungeon has had this build up of like a quest you have to do beforehand, so I'm sure it'll be more of the same here. Will we arrive at the dungeon by the end of the stream? Maybe. It would be great if we did, so that way when we play Zelda again, we can actually start with the dungeon. So I guess we'll see how it goes tonight, but finally Zelda returning, and I know there's been people asking all week, when's Zelda coming back? When's Zelda coming back? I really like the playthrough. It's coming back, okay? It's going to actually be played at least twice this coming week, all right? Now, tomorrow, Sunday, originally I had told you guys I was going to cover the Xbox digital presentation and the Starfield presentation, all right? I'm not going to cover them live. At this point, after having covered Summer Game Fest, seeing the debacle that happened with YouTube essentially blocking my video for over 12 to 15 hours, and the fact that, not that many people ended up watching. Right now, the video has now been live for what? Almost 48 hours. It's got about 1,400 views. I mean, that's not bad for DSP Reacts, but at the same time, the debacle of having it blocked for so long, it really irked me. That's my hard work that I want people to watch, and they can't watch it because YouTube keeps screwing up. So I'm not going to live react to it. What I will do is, just like I said, I'll be paying attention to the news. If there's huge news, we'll talk about it on tomorrow's podcast. But for the most part, tomorrow's podcast may be really short because tomorrow I want to play with a new character in Street Fighter 6, and it's going to be one of the new ones. It's either going to be Marisa or Mano. I guess I'll just pronounce it Mano from now on, and if everyone says it's wrong, too bad, because everyone told me to pick
It's not
pronunciation.
Mano.
So I'm going
That's
with
not
this
how you
one,
pronounce
and
it,
no
Phil.
one has told me how to pronounce the word properly, so I'm just going to say
That's
Mano,
not
and I
it.
don't care. So, either Marisa or Mano. All right? And we'll see how it goes. And, I'm interested because I want to play all 4 new characters. So far, I've used 2, JP and Lily, but I need to use the other 2. Once we have played with all of the new characters, I feel like we can actually do a tier maker for Street Fighter characters, which is actually one of the tier makers I wanted to do for this month. Around the middle of this month, I wanted to take a late stream to kind of break up the content and do a tier maker on Street Fighter. But I needed to play with the new characters before I could do that. So I would say, let's play with these characters over the course of this week, and then maybe we could look to do a tier maker maybe sometime next week. We'll see. All right. But anyway, so that's tomorrow's main gameplay stream, taking one of those characters into the guide mode. then into the combo trials, and then online play. There is no late stream tomorrow night. Reason being, because I am doing private react videos for patrons. I need about 2 hours to do it, so I need a whole stream's time to do it, and that's going to be tomorrow night. So no stream on Sunday night. When I return on Monday, it will be more Street Fighter 6, and this time around on Monday, I think we're going to officially 100% lock it in concretely. I'll be trying the single-player World Tour mode on Monday. This is a mode that people have wanted to see me play since the game came out. It's a mode that possibly a lot of people may buy the game just to play eventually. Supposedly around 15 to 20 hours long. You make your own character. You go through this world beating up people in the streets a la Yakuza. You level up with items. You make your character grow and level up with experience points. And you give them new special moves based on the people you've defeated. It seems like a unique mode. And definitely something as a first for Street Fighter. They've never done anything like this before. And, you know, we even did that special stream when they were talking about it right before the release of the game, and it looks good. But let's be honest, the major focus of me playing Street Fighter 6 up to now has been learning the characters and doing it competitively. That's the point of a fighting game. So that's why we've been focusing on that. But I think now people maybe want me to see me branch out a little bit more, and I'm totally okay with that. Give me 1 second. I want to clean the lens on this camera because I know some bubbles have hit it.
What? Phil, hello? You're doing a stream, Phil.
Give me 1 second.
Come back, Phil. Don't leave me alone with my thought, Phil. Phil. Get up.
Okay. Let's clean this thing. Live.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Much better. Look at that. Now we're in 4K quality, baby. Now, I noticed since I've been, you know, I do the celebratory bubble blow in here when we hit 100 likes recently. I've seen a lot of bubble stuff. It's all over the camera. I'm like, oh, let's clean that. Because I've noticed it. Okay.
Because you glow straight on the freaking camera,
now,
dummy.
Right? It's like I gave you a shower for free on stream. How about that?
Oh my god, nope.
Okay.
No,
so
stop.
yeah, I'm interested to
No
see how
one
this
wants
World
to think
Tour
about that,
pans out.
Phil.
I'm not expecting the world from it, but at the same time,
What the
it
fuck?
seems like an interesting mode, and apparently you earn like unlocks and stuff by playing it. A lot of the achievements of the game are apparently tied to the mode as well. And remember, I made my avatar already in the demo, and my avatar certainly looks interesting. Let's put it that way.
Didn't you make your avatar look exactly like you? I don't know if it would. I would say it's interesting or not.
It's something that's kind of like meh. We'll get to it eventually.
It looks bad because it's made to look just like you. That's why it looks
We're
interesting.
gonna see how it goes. Cool. There is no blurry smudge, eyes. Stop saying that. There is no blurry smudge on that camera. It looks beautiful.
No, your face is blurry though.
Okay.
But it's always fun.
So, Monday night, Diablo 4 continues. And it's funny because we actually had a good stream last night with good progress, but it was all side content. So what happened last night in Diablo? Some good stuff. We ended up doing 2 optional side dungeons. We unlocked 2 of those special abilities that were sorcerer specific. One apparently is going to put a barrier on my body when I'm fighting like mini boss level characters, elites I think they're called. And then another ability made my ice shard spell be better, where it like splits into 3 or 4 shards, so it's a better spell. In addition to that, I apparently had the bad luck of running into a randomly generated world boss called the Butcher. It was funny. Someone commented on the video. They're like, that's the equivalent of finding a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon. And what it is you'll just randomly be in a dungeon, and all of a sudden this guy will just appear out of nowhere. He has nothing to do with the dungeon. He's just a random spawn. And he's a boss, and he's fast as shit. He's faster than you.
Yeah, you got your shit kicked in from that boss too, didn't you?
Dude. He's faster than you. He hits like a tank. And he basically, you can't really hurt him. I was trying to hurt him. I was wailing on this guy, and I only maybe took off maybe 15% of his health bar. So he's way overpowered compared to everything else I fought in the game. And there's no way to beat him. Like, there was no way I was going to defeat him by myself. Maybe if I had a party or something and we were all working together. But there was sadly no real way for me to beat this guy. So he killed me. And I think that was actually, if I remember, that might be my first legitimate death in the game. Because I was trying to think, did I die outside of that? And I can't remember if I did. I don't think I did. I think that might have been my legit first death in the game. Okay? But anyway, yeah, I got my ass beat. It's funny because I'm beating everything else in the game easily, and this just like slapped me around and beat me. So my first death, if you want to see that, that was from last night's Diablo stream. When I play again on Monday night, we're going back to focus on the story, and we're right in the story area where we need to go to advance it. So we'll do some story stuff on Monday night and see where it goes. Then on Tuesday, the daytime stream again will be Street Fighter 6, but the question will be, would you like to see me maybe play the other new character who I haven't used yet, whether it's Marisa or Minot, or would you like to see me do an online session where basically I do some more gameplay with Zangief and whatever character I used on Sunday? I might leave it open to you guys for you to decide. Because obviously the only way I'm going to get better at the game is to use a character more than once. Like, no exaggeration, I used Zangief yesterday, and we're going to talk about this in a second because I actually have the stats for you. I used Zangief yesterday, and by the end of the stream, I was learning again. I was doing better, and like I said, I watched one round of a top player using Zangief.
I wonder who this top player is he keeps talking about,
things I can
too.
use when I play him again. I was like, oh, shit. Like, that's so useful. You know, I can't wait till you play him again. And so that's what happened. So, there you go. Anyway, so that's Monday's or Tuesday's stream. Tuesday night will be the return of Zelda. So more Zelda tonight and Zelda Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, one final Street Fighter 6 stream for the week. What will it be? I'll leave it open. And then Wednesday night will be more Diablo. So I'm off from streaming on Thursday this week, okay? And then the week after, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5-day streaming week. And that week will basically be a mix of everything I'm doing and trying to advance as much as I can before the impending release of Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 is coming out that third week of June. Is it the 21st? Hold on.
And he gets up. Again, he gets up from his chair. Phil. This is supposed to be a podcast, correct?
22nd. What day of the week is the 22nd? A Thursday. That's weird. It's coming out on a Thursday. Well, if that's the case, that's, you know, my Wednesday will be my day off. I can start playing it right away when it comes out on that Thursday. Okay? What a weird day for a game to come out. Usually they come out either Tuesdays or Fridays. But anyway, yeah, I'll start playing it that day, and then it'll be alternation, I should say, between Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 16 for daytime streams, and the night streams will be Diablo and Zelda.
Again,
and that's the plan.
Just like, nothing but fucking Street Fighter.
Future.
And then Final Fantasy a little bit.
July, like Pikmin 4 and stuff like that. But these are the 4
Are you really going to play
Pikmin
4, though? Come on.
Moving forward. And we'll see what happens. The thing is, they're all insanely lengthy games.
Pikmin 4 is not a really streamable type of game.
I'm actually going to make major progress and or beat these games in any kind of a timely manner. Every one of these games has the potential to be incredible.
I'm sorry, I'm not in my best shape in terms of commenting and stuff, but I am trying my best, guys, and I apologize if I'm not the best at this right now. But it's going to take him forever to beat Final Fantasy 16. You do realize that, right? Like, Final Fantasy games are usually, like, pretty fucking long, and the way he plays games, like, a 40-hour game to finish for normal people, like, turns out to be, like, an 80 or 90-hour game for him, because he's always stopping. He's always, like, he like, his hands will leave the controller to talk about some bullshit one of his dumbass fans brought up, you know? And it's just, it's fucking nuts. And it's like, it's gonna take him forever. It's taken him forever just to get, like, in Diablo 2, it's taken him forever just to get to where, like, a normal person playing it for, like, 3 or 4 hours would get. And he's, like, right around there, and he's been playing it for how many days? It, like, and don't even get me started on Zelda, because he just kind of dropped that for such a long fucking time. Like, come on, he's gonna be fucking playing that game forever.
Zelda, if I rush through it, and I do the Goron dungeon, then we go to the fourth and final dungeon, and then maybe we try to get to endgame. Maybe I could beat that first.
And now he's trying to rush
Diablo is an insanely long game. Street Fighter 6 is a game with no ending, right? And we're just starting Final Fantasy 16, which you also know is going to be an insanely long game. So, who knows how the progress will go in these games? I'm hoping you guys like them and you know, want to keep seeing them all in the rotation, but I'm actually concerned about what's going to happen come July. It might be a situation where I can't even play new games in July because I'm busy with all 4 of these, you know? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to take it as it goes and judge for ourselves, all right? The next big event going on is actually going to be my summer marathon, which we still have not named. We have to think of a good name for this event. There's going to be a summer marathon the first weekend of July. It's going to be on the Sunday, July 2nd. It's going to feature games. It's going to feature drinking. It's going to feature food. There's going to be probably a tier maker. It's going to be a good variety of stuff that we're going to do that day, okay? And it's going to be pretty fun to do something different rather than just the regular stuff that we do. My wife is actually going to look up some... No, we're not calling it Summer Game Fest. I think someone already got that name. My wife's going to look up some cool recipes for, like, summertime.
Oh, Jory,
foods.
more recipes, more
like
food from the cat.
Like a
Just
like
what
barbecue
he
food or something
needs.
like that, and then maybe like a dessert, right? That'd be kind of cool. So we're gonna do those live, just like we did with the Street Fighter
No
cookbook
one
last
wants
month.
to see
But at
you
the same
eat
time, there's gonna be a
stuff,
little bit
though,
of booze
Phil. It's
involved, I'm sure,
boring.
and
And
some
he
gaming.
always...
I
He always has the same idea for all, any of his special streams, his special marathon type things. It's always the same fucking idea. I'm gonna buy food, I'm gonna eat food with you guys, and I'm gonna do a marathon of X game, a random fucking game or whatever. And that's all it fucking is. It's like, Phil, you've done this before. No one cares.
guarantee you by then I'll have played with so many characters in Street Fighter. Maybe we'll do like a multiplayer online stream of Street Fighter 6 for fun, and maybe some other things for variety. I'm not sure. It's really up to what you guys want. We'll probably do a tier maker event. As you know, the tier makers usually do really well. And people really seem to like them. So we'll probably throw.
Oh my god, your tier makers are boring as sin,
American
though.
Foods, because it's supposed to be like a summertime Independence
Really?
Weekend style.
Oh my, Independence Weekend style stream? Ugh. Oh my god, his tier maker stuff is like legitimately some of the worst content he does. Is his, like, it's even worse than his reacts. Cause like, it's just so fucking boring, and we all know how bad of an opinion he has on everything. And then on top of that, like, he always turns everything about himself to himself. It's like, well, when I have hot dogs, I'm like, no one cares, Phil.
Bash thing. So
He
maybe it's
really
all
thinks this
American
is a good
themed,
idea.
like-
It's like, it's his go-to formula. Tier maker, eating shit on stream, doing a marathon of some long game, rinse and repeat over and over again. That's his only ideal he has. And he's just gonna keep doing that over and over again.
American food rankings and stuff like that.
Oh
I'd be
my
down for
gosh.
that. Ranking that kind of stuff. I'll have to think about it. But basically what we need to do is we need to think of a name. Once we think of a name, then we can start promoting the event. Then we can start planning for the event. All right? What do you think? No, not the Glizzy-thon. We're not calling it the Glizzy-thon.
You should.
No, we're not calling it the Gin and Burger Bash. That's not happening.
Do it, Phil.
See, originally I was going to call it like the Independence Weekend event, but the thing is, it's
There
only
we
Independence Day in the United
celebrate
States, and I
our
realize I have an international
Independence
audience.
Day.
So calling it Independence Weekend event wouldn't make sense because it would be confusing. You know, like, wait, it's not Independence Day for me, you know. So I kind of want to call it like something summer themed. No, we're not calling it the MAGA-thon. Oh. We could call it President Donald Trump's indictment marathon. We could go through
Yeah,
all
there you go.
37
Do it, Phil.
indictments, right? That would be hilarious.
Call
That'd be
it
great. We'll
that.
read each one off.
No politics
They'll take the whole
allowed,
thing.
except for when I talk about it.
Indictment fest. Anyway, okay. Yes, I know. It's a joke. We're keeping politics off the stream. It's a joke. It's not serious.
It's a
Stop that right now.
joke.
People are like, oh. No, I'm joking. Okay, we're not reading the indictments.
Oh, confirmed, he's a leftist.
Okay. Anyway, Summer Friday Fighter Fest. Well, it's not going to be on a Friday. Summer Fight Fest. I mean, we just did the Fight and Feast. And now we're
And
doing
that
a
was
Fight
trash.
Fest.
And now we're gonna have
Like
even
I
more
said,
trash.
likely we will do a session of Street Fighter 6 because the game is popular,
Ow.
because I'm liking playing it. I don't see why we wouldn't do a little bit of Street Fighter 6 gameplay in there, you know? But I don't know exactly what we would call it. Phil's Paradise Party. Man, we really gotta figure this out. What can we call it? Summer Jam, Summer Fests, Summer Bash. DSP's Summer Jam. Like it's a party. DSP's Beach Boy Bonanza.
That sounds like more something Perry would do, I think. I don't know.
Hot and fun sweaty party. Oh.
Why don't you
DSP
come up with
Sweat
something
Fest.
yourself, Phil?
Oh.
Why you keep?
Oh no.
Why are you making
That's
your
disgusting.
fucking fans work
DSP's
for it, dude?
Summer Super Slam.
Oh my gosh. So
The mid-year bash.
it's the mid-year bash.
I mean, yeah, technically it would be the first real major thing I do for the second half of the year. That is true. Summer Smash
Come up with
Bash.
it
You know,
yourself.
we're not smashing anyone.
He has like no imagination for anything.
Thoughts
he really
on Persona
does.
3 Remake? Any interest at all? Sarah, I don't think that's a very good name for the marathon. DSP's thoughts on Persona 3 Remake.
Oh
any
my
interest
god,
at
you
all?
know what she meant.
That wouldn't work at all. I don't know why.
Or
why would you
he,
even
or
suggest it?
whoever. You know what they fucking meant.
Why would you even suggest that? It's a horrible suggestion. How could you?
Do people actually find this funny? Do they really? Hold on.
The Digital Summer Party, DSP.
I forgot.
Get it? DSP, Digital Summer Party. Dark Side Fills. DSP's DSP. DSP's DSP, only on DSP Gaming. Oh, that's actually a little catchy.
And he goes
DSP,
with that.
DSP.
That's what he actually shows people.
Oh, we might have come up with something good. So everyone's like, sold.
Yeah,
DSP,
that's a
Digital Summer
dumbass
Party.
name. Let's
Yeah, I
go
like that.
for
okay,
it.
I think we're going with that. I actually really like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Yeah. DSP.
DSP,
squared.
DSP.
We call it DSP squared.
No.
DSP to the power of DSP.
Dumbass to the power of dumbass.
DZ Ape says, don't thank me, thank ChatGPT. Are you serious? You use ChatGPT and that's what it told you?
That poor AI. It could be doing so much better.
Huh.
And
You use ChatGPT and it cheated.
that
All right.
poor
All right,
AI.
DSP's
It could
DSP,
be
Digital Summer
solving
Party. All right, so we got a
cancer,
name. I like that.
figuring
We're
out the
harnessing power
mysteries of the
AI to dominate our
universe,
lives
but
and tell
it's
us what
coming
it
up
sounds
with a
like.
name for this
Now, we gotta
dumbass's
figure out what we're doing during the event. Like I
event.
said, there will definitely be some gameplay, likely Street Fighter 6.
See, you're probably gonna have a tier maker and food, dumbass.
I'll be drinking, maybe taking some shots or some beer or something. We'll figure it
Oh,
out.
joy! Oh, but he's a...
And then we got to figure out what else we want to do. Like I said, tier maker.
Oh, but it's fine, because he's a recovering alcoholic, though. He used to be addicted to alcohol, but not anymore, so now he can have all the beer he wants. That makes sense. That's not how alcoholism works, Phil.
What kind of tier makers? Definitely, the food tier makers seem to be very successful. We'll probably do something, like I said, maybe American foods. Since it's a summer party, like talk about like
See,
American
it's just
fare,
it's
and
a
try to find,
go-to. That's all he can do. That's all he can come up with
one or
nowadays.
2 tier makers, depending on how the event goes. Okay, and I think one of them should be American food, right? The one thing is, I don't know if we want to do another fantasy battle royal in WWE. We just did one for the Fight and Feast, and I can't really think of any good ideas for another one. So I don't know if we want to do another one so soon. Maybe save that for the next event. DSP's Digital Summer Party, sponsored by Ballpark Beef Franks. Shove a big hot wiener down your mouth. Suck the glizzy. Get busy. It's the summertime jam.
What the fuck? Why
my
do you
God.
always
Here you
think
go.
of penises all the time,
Amazing.
Phil? It's like it's always on his mind.
Yes. Oh my God. It was like, no. I know. Obviously, it's a joke. It's funny. Anyway, so there you go. Let's try to get some more ideas for what we can do during this event in the next few weeks. This is actually perfect. We got the name, DSP's Digital Summer Party, and right, and we will plan on this, for, soon. So thank you, and we'll have some bubble guns going. I'm sure. We'll have all kinds of exciting things going on for this event. I'm very excited for this event, actually. Okay. So anyway, there you have it. So that's the plan. The plan is this week balancing Street Fighter 6 with Diablo and Zelda. When Final Fantasy 16 comes out, that's the next new game to hit the rotation to balance with Street Fighter 6, and doing that all through the end of the month. And so other things going on, by the way, DSP Reacts. Since I'm not going to be doing the live React stuff, what I will be doing, like I said, probably by the end of this week, maybe Tuesday night, Wednesday night, I will sit down and I'll look at all the information about all the games that are announced at Xbox tomorrow, the information about Starfield, and then anything that comes out of the Capcom or Ubisoft events. And I'll probably sit down and do like a recap reactions video that'll be about 30 minutes long, where I'll tell you about my thoughts about all of that stuff, and that will be released exclusively for DSP Reacts. I actually will not even live stream it. That'll be an on-demand video just for on-demand viewers on that channel, okay? Outside of that, I told you guys that once a week I was going to watch a retro movie and review it. I still may this week, but the thing is, this week we've got DSP versus the Internet, the Summer Game Fest coverage, and that recap reactions video over there. I kind of feel like if I review something this week, it's kind of overload. And maybe there'd almost be too much content on DSP Reacts. So I'm thinking maybe I should save it for next week. That way there's more content. And by the way, Avatar, The Way of Water has released on HBO Max. I can actually watch it. And I think I do want to watch it and review it for you guys. Now, the movie is insanely long. It's like 3.5 hours long. It's probably going to take me a series of nights to watch this movie. And once I finally watch through it over the next week or so, maybe I'll review that too. Maybe that would be a good one to watch and review. Because I'm curious what it is. I can't imagine why so many people saw it after a decade of waiting for the last one. And then people are like, oh yeah, it's good. You ask them, well, why is it good? Oh, it looks good. Okay, but what happened in the movie? Half the people can't even say. They're like, oh, you're writing like aquatic animals or something. Oh, okay. But what was the unique thing about the plot that stood out that made this movie such the giant, important movie it was? And people were like, meh. I've never seen a movie in my life. This is absolutely true. I'm 41 years old. I've never seen a movie arrive, make so much money and be so popular for so short a period of time, and then immediately fall off and have no one talk about it. Ever. Like, I remember back in the day there were blockbuster
People
movies.
still talk about Avatar.
Movie. People were talking about that movie for like a year. How good it was, how interesting it was, right? Who the fuck is talking about Avatar? No one even gives two shits.
People still talk about it.
It's like, no one saw it. It made tons of money, and no one acts like it even existed.
What?
Like, it's like a weird anomaly. I absolutely need to see this movie. I feel like James Cameron, at some point, he made a deal with the devil. Like,
all right. No, this part fucking pissed me off. Yeah, this is the part that I remember. Hold on. This guy's a moron. Like, I swear he only thinks that, like, James Cameron made Titanic and Avatar, and that's all he ever made, when that's obviously not the fucking case.
Shit. Right? It's like, we all went and saw it, it made tons of money, and no one acts like it even existed. Like, it's like a weird anomaly. I absolutely need to see this movie. I feel like James Cameron, at some point, he made a deal with the devil. Like, he sacrificed a bunch of people and goats.
Oh, yeah,
and, like,
he's killing people.
Came out of hell. He's like, so you're going to make a bunch of blockbuster movies, but they're not good. But you're going to make them. You're going to be insanely rich and popular and successful.
Not good. They are not, Phil. Aliens was the best sequel ever made. Arguably, the best sequel ever made to a movie is Aliens. Terminator 2 is arguably one of the best action movies ever made, Phil. The Abyss was also very well done and very great. Still holds up today. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He thinks that, like, James Cameron only ever really made Avatar and Titanic, and that was it. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Titanic that much, but it was still pretty fucking good. What the fuck are you talking about? Aliens was, like, the height. It was so fucking good. Terminator 2, again, so fucking good. It was like the defining movie of, like, what was it, the middle of the 90s?
Successful.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking
good,
about.
But people will still, you'll still be some of the highest grossing movies ever. Oh, okay. Either that or Michael Bay, one of the two, or maybe they both did. Maybe one was Beelzebub and one was like, Cthulhu or something, right? They're each of them are making, these deals with these demons, and then one day we'll have a showdown of the shitty movies. CGI showdown. All the CGI Ninja Turtles and Transformers will take on the blue people as they fight in the skies or whatever. Or the water, I guess. That's the way of water. I don't know. Anyway. I'm curious to see Avatar 2. I will likely watch it soon. And once I watch it, I will probably do a review. That might very well maybe the next review I do for DSP Reacts. Okay? Alright. So before we get to the shout-out segment, I would like to do a update on my progress in Street Fighter 6, which I have right here. So yesterday we went through total wins and loss records, but we have this ranking that's been going on. And this ranking is essentially when I pick a character for the very first time, how do I do? What's funny is if you actually look at this ranking, it's really not even representative of my overall experience in Street Fighter 6, because if you take a look, Lily, as well as Dalsim, actually have losing records, but I've actually played more with them, and now I'm getting good with them and winning way more often than losing. So in reality, Lily and Dalsim are two of my favorite characters that I'm doing much better with. Zangief, I'm actually pleased I ended up with a positive record for Zangief. I really am. Because Zangief is a character who, over the years, I've really much enjoyed playing with in various Street Fighter games. In fact, last night, before I went to sleep, I actually opened up an old-ass playlist from DSP Street Fighter. If you're not aware, that's my old-ass, decade-old YouTube channel where I used to put up only fighting game footage. And I was watching myself play Street Fighter 4 I think it was Super Street Fighter 4, on the day that I got laid off from my job in 2010. I actually opened up that playlist and started watching the videos. And it was the first time I'd seen that gameplay in several years, many years. And I was like, wow, you know, watching how Street Fighter 4 played and everything, it's kind of fascinating today with the game that we're playing now with Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 5 was fine.
Right?
What are you talking about? And he's going to get so sick of Street Fighter 6 because eventually he's going to get to the point where people are just beating the shit out of him.
Say that
and he's going to start shit. I guarantee you in like 2 or 3 months, he's going to start shit talking on Street Fighter 6. He really is.
All right? Zangief, if you can stay with the enemy in front of you at a certain range, is incredibly strong. All right? He's got normals that are pretty good for mid-range, some super armor on some of those normals. He's got an anti-air with the OD, or overdrive spinning lariat, and it hits at this angle that hits multiple times, and it'll knock him right out of the air, okay? It's really good, except for the fact that it literally only works from that particular direction and angle. If someone gets in your face, it's very hard to get them off of you. Sadly, he doesn't have a true reversal from Wake Up that will get him out of a tricky situation. And then you end up having to try to parry, because his reversal does not work. His spinning lariat will not work when someone's above you. And this is the problem I kept having yesterday. Someone would get close. I was like, all right, I need to get myself out of this situation. I couldn't figure out how. I couldn't find a way to safely get him out of these situations, because it doesn't seem like he has anything that will get him out of there. It's not like he can teleport. It's you know what I mean? Like drive impact, or drive, what do they call it? Drive reversal only works to a certain extent. And he seems weaker because of that. Now, what I didn't know is that he actually has some better normals. Like, for example, that headbutt move he has, which I think is forward and fierce punch, apparently is incredibly good. I told you guys I watched one round of someone using Zangief at master level. Literally, they just kept throwing out the headbutt. And the headbutt is apparently fast recovery. It's safe on block. And if it hits, you can combo into other things, or you can just go right into like a throw setup. So it seems ridiculously good. It was stuffing a lot of moves. Like, why was I not using that? I didn't realize how good it was. Also, his low medium punch apparently is incredibly good. If it hits at any time, it can 2-in-1 into either the rushing grab, which is a mix-up, or in combo into the EX lariat. So anytime low medium punch hits, you got a free combo, and now you're at an advantageous situation. So I need to start implementing those when I use him again. I think if I start using the headbutt and low medium punch a lot, I'll probably do way better than I was doing.
Alright, back to fast speed.
Even so, I did
blah,
good.
blah, blah.
I actually had a winning record, despite the fact that I was essentially trying to learning on the fly and didn't really know that much about him. I'd say I did pretty good. I definitely got bodied a lot by certain people, but then I started coming back.
It's like, am I the only one who's getting so fucking bored of him playing Street Fighter? Like, really fucking boring, dude. Like, oh my gosh.
He was so good in Street Fighter 4. Remember? Was it Super Street Fighter 4?
And it's only a matter of time before he starts getting bested, because he's starting to be put up against players that actually know how to fight against his scrub tactics, right? Hold on.
I do want to play Zangief again. I would say of all the characters I'm using, right, Blanca?
Like, it's only a matter of time before he gets put up against players that actually know how to counter his scrub button mashing tactics, because that's all it is he's button mashing. He never learns any actual combos. He barely even uses the what was it, that rush beatdown thing, whatever it is, the rush count, whatever the fuck it is, that big move thing. What? Fuck, I don't remember. He mentioned it like 500 times, and I just like kind of zoned out. But you know what I'm talking. Drive rush, drive combo, something like that. Like, he barely even uses that or learns how to really use that. Like, you can bait people with that, you can counter others with that, but he doesn't do any of that. And people are starting to learn and play constantly, and are way better than him, because he's trying to spread himself too thin in the game. So what he's doing is he's trying all these different characters, but everyone else on his like platinum level or whatever just kind of focus on 1 or 2 characters and learn all the different combos for that and everything, right? So it's like, yeah, of course, because, you know, like, they know how to fucking do it.
I think it actually like can become a float state, a juggle state, and you can do more after it. So, I think both characters are interesting. All right, but I don't know which one would be better for my playstyle.
And it's only a matter of time before he stops getting more wins. Well, I mean,
It's true. I've seen a lot of her mechanics, but
he's already losing more than he's winning anyway. But it's only a matter of time before he really starts losing more and more often, and then he's gonna get more and more mad, and he's just gonna quit it and start talking more and more shit about fucking Street Fighter 6, and it's gonna go the way of Street Fighter 5, and he'll just ignore it, pretend it never existed, and shit on it all the time. And that's just gonna, it's eventually gonna fucking happen. So, and he's oversaturating, I've said this before, he's oversaturating his channel. He's supposed to be a variety streamer. He's not a variety streamer anymore. All he's doing is focusing only on fucking Street Fighter now.
All right, so outside of all of that, that's really what I got to talk about, but we have shoutouts now. So let's get to shoutouts.
Oh my god.
The Lucky Gremlin.
Hopefully someone baits him, because this is kind of boring. I thought there was something interesting in here. I'm sorry, guys.
Thank you so much, Lucky Gremlin. If you guys haven't noticed, support has been outstanding this last week for Street Fighter 6 launch and Diablo as well.
That's the only reason why he's still playing Street Fighter 6 every day in the mainstream, is because of support.
Supported the channel in that way. If you have a gifted membership, enjoy and be sure to thank whoever gifted it to you. Perhaps you would consider becoming a member if it lapsed, or maybe gifting some memberships to help out.
More begging.
Let's see here. Jack Anderson re-upped his membership for 15 months in a row. Thank you to Jack for re-upping your membership and supporting the channel. And Spawn Killer did a $2.
They don't get anything for memberships from him either, too.
The Digital Summer Party. That way it rolls off the tongue. DSP squared, right? That's what we're gonna call it. DSP.
Oh my gosh, it's such a stupid fucking name, Phil. It really is.
All kinds of promotional materials together for
it's not catchy either. Yeah, make T-shirts on it, Phil.
Let's continue. Drew, what you said is silly, but I will address it. Drew just said in the stream chat, you have 800 members, but only 300 people are here for today's podcast. I hope they show up for the react. You have to understand something, Drew. All right, I'm a variety content creator. I do not just make one kind of content. I want you to think about this. Currently, I'm playing a Nintendo game, which is its own unique classification, I would feel, a competitive fighting game, and an ARPG from Blizzard. 3 completely different styles of video game, right? I'm about to do a react show where I react to clips from all over the internet. Correct? That's completely different. Oh, by the way, I'm doing a podcast right now where I'm interacting and talking with you guys about various topics. You see, in 1 week, I'm making 5 kinds of content. Now, even though you may say, well, you only have 300 people on the podcast, you're correct. This podcast has a certain audience. Some days we have upwards of 400, 500 viewers. Sometimes we have only 200 viewers. It really depends on what's going on. Particularly today, there's nothing too crazy going on in the realm of games or anything, so the attendance is a little lower. It's all right. But we have a regular audience that come and watch this show every day. And a lot of people even say, I like your podcast, but I don't particularly...
Who is saying that? Who is saying that, Phil? Cool. I've not seen a single one of these then saying, oh, we really love your podcast. It's so great.
The viewer base. For example,
I go on Spot. Oh, wait, it's not on Spotify, is it?
More than 50% of the viewers who watch me do not live in the United States. Most people can't even say that on YouTube. If they're like American, usually the vast majority of your viewer base is American. I can't even say that. I got people from Canada, from the UK, all parts of Europe, Asia, who watch me. That's cool. And because of that, there's people from all different walks of life. They attend all different times. Some people are here for the stream. Some people watch on demand after the fact. That's the other thing, too. It's funny because people are like, well, if you look, you only have like a few hundred people who watch you. It's actually completely false, right? Certain videos get different viewer counts. Yeah, if on part 23 of an RPG, it'll probably get like 300 to 500 views, right? But part 1 of a giant new release that's popular usually can get upwards of, thousands of views, sometimes upwards of 10,000+ views. Look at my Resident Evil 4 remake playthrough and how well that did, right? There's people who come back. There's people who come back for particular styles of gameplay. You see what I'm saying? And that's good, right? If you actually add up all the viewers that I get from all over the place, you probably got, at the very least on a daily basis, a couple thousand people, different people who are watching my content for various different reasons, right? And then when there's something happening going on, something exciting, that'll increase. So I understand what you're saying. Like, you only have 300 people on the podcast, but 800 members. Yeah, but in reality, I probably have like 2,000 or more people who watch the content. So when you say 800 members, that's not even half of the active viewer base. You understand? Now, they don't watch every piece of content, but they're split up watching different things. You understand?
No, they're really not.
There you go. Anyway, let's continue.
It's all the same audience, Phil. So the same people that are watching you on your React channel will follow you over to the fucking... Will follow you over to the fucking, DSP Gaming. It's all the same audience. You're not making a new audience there.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Here we go. Okay. So he says, as you can see in the Google Doc, you actually had your 3rd best win rate with him for your first session, with a character behind Blanca at number 2 and JP at number 1. Let's take a look, because the Google Doc he's referencing.
Oh my god.
Actually, the one that he's going to be updating with my overall wins and losses.
So some cuck, I think it's Game Trekker, right? And this cuck is fucking making a Google Doc and tracking his wins and losses for him. Although I think the game automatically does that anyway. But, like, can you imagine wasting your time tracking his wins and losses? And I'm not going to sit here and listen to that, so let me...
Get her to throw range or mix-up range, and to the OD air for stuffing moves and or trading or getting to an advantageous position because it's like safe on block. You keep doing it, and the enemy is like kind of stuck. So I think I'm going to implement that more when I start using him again. Okay. Continuing on. I received a $30 tip. Wild chance, guys. It is... Game Tracker. Game Tracker.
Fucking Game Tracker again. Shut the fuck up, Game Tracker. Jesus.
For my React content. Thank you so much, Game Tracker, for all of your support of my stuff. I really appreciate that. So that being said,
I really appreciate it, dude.
And Game Tracker has to say the following. He says, why'd you let Bison do river dance on your face? If you don't remember from last week, that's what you said in 2009 jokingly when you predicted a YouTube commenter would say in response to Shady J losing to Bison in the same exact way for 2 rounds. Now, I began watching your content in 2010 when I went back and watched all your tournament footage after you playing Street Fighter 4. It started making me interested in the series. This particular quote lodged in my head for years after hearing you commentate that match, and then a ridiculous thing happened in 2012. Street Fighter X Tekken was released, and M. Bison was included in its roster. He has a new super animation, which is literally river dancing on an opponent's face. Yeah, pretty much that. Can you say DSP predicts it? Anyway, you can judge for yourself. My submission this week is simply an old video of that super. And that's what we will watch. The river dance effect of M. Bison on the face of his opponent. Here's the thing.
What?
I'm definitely not saying that that particular situation is something that influenced anything. But I will tell you something. Being that I was around back in the day, and I was one of the more influential Let's Players on YouTube. I was one of the biggest ones to do the kind of improv.
No, you weren't!
My videos were getting insane amounts of views. They were going viral. They were getting...
you weren't that influential, Phil. I'm sorry.
I would not be surprised if some of my mannerisms and things that I said and did rubbed off on the community at large.
Oh my god, the ego!
I was using the term playthrough before anyone else.
This is it. This is what I fucking wanted to talk about. No, you fucking were not, Phil. You really were not. Phil, like, yes, you were on the top floor or whatever. You were in the beginning, like, you were one of the first couple hundreds of people that were doing fucking videos on YouTube when it first started, and that's the only reason why you're relevant today. If it wasn't for that, you would not be relevant at all, Phil. But people were using the word like playthrough and shit like that before, so you're not the first one.
If someone disagrees, I think it's bullshit. I was using the term playthrough before anyone else of prominence was using it on YouTube.
Bullshit.
Because purposefully, I did not want to call my game playthroughs walkthroughs. I did not feel that when I was doing a series of videos on a game, that I was doing a guide. I felt like a walkthrough is someone's holding your hand and walking you through the game as a guide. That's not what the content was that I put out. So I would call it...
Yeah, because you suck too much on the content to actually do that.
At the time, I'm not kidding you, people gave me shit for it.
No, they didn't.
At videos back in the day, there's actually comments on them, and it's like...
Let's see it. Bring up one of those comments, Phil. I want to see it.
The playthrough isn't even a word. Like, you made that up. And I would explain in my videos...
prove it then. It's how hard is it to go back to one of your old-ass videos and find that comment and fucking post, like, take a screenshot of it. Prove it. I want to see, Phil. I want proof. Because we all don't trust you. You have lied so many times. You're not a consecutive, a known liar, Phil. So how are we supposed to trust you in this?
No, I want to call it that because I don't want to be called a walkthrough creator. These are not walkthroughs. These are supposed to be playthroughs.
I don't want to be called a Let's Player.
As early as back as 2009 in my channel descriptions. These are playthroughs, not walkthroughs. Okay?
This all is bullshit.
And the funny part is, now, almost everyone says playthrough. It's been adopted as common terminology over the last...
Because other people are calling it that too. You were not the only fucking person calling it that, Phil. You really weren't.
15 years. But back then, people actually gave me shit for using it, saying it wasn't a word, and I'm saying everything wrong, right? What a weird person, what an oddball. No, you're doing walkthroughs.
Well, you got like one comment about it?
But another major reason that I call my videos playthroughs is because everyone back then was calling it Let's Play, right? And I didn't like the whole idea of calling my videos Let's Play, because that kind of felt to me like we're playing it together as a community. Now, back then, I wasn't doing interactive live streams. Okay? Maybe today you can argue if I'm playing a game like Zelda or Diablo, there's a lot of community input. People talking with me in the stream chat. And that, if you're calling it a Let's Play, it makes more sense because it really is a group of people contributing to the overall gameplay of the game, right? So in that regard, I can say, yeah, you have an argument, right? But back then, I was playing offline. I was playing single player, doing all solo improv commentary. How could you call that a Let's Play? It's not us playing together at all. I hated that terminology. That was another thing. Everyone would say, you're making a Let's Play. Like, no, I'm making a playthrough. And they would argue with me. No, it's a Let's Play.
Who's arguing with you? Where's these comments?
And now everyone says playthrough. In fact, does anyone even say Let's Play anymore? Is anyone even familiar with, oh, a Let's Play, right? Almost no one even uses that terminology anymore, right? It's like it's an outdated term, but everyone still says playthrough. And what's hilarious about that is there's idiotic people out there who will say things like, oh, that's, you're just out of your mind. That's a delusion of grandeur. No, something that's factually backed up is not a delusion of grandeur. It's you're an idiot who doesn't want to look back at history because you believe negative memes and can't possibly believe that I was ever influential, right? There was a time when I would put out a video about something going on in the U.S. government, like SOPA or PIPA. The video would go viral and get hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of views. People who never heard about the subject matter before would be informed and actually go call their congressman. Yes, that's how influential I was on YouTube at one point. Just because you don't want to believe it, because you don't like me, and you like the negative memes about me, doesn't mean it didn't happen. It means you're a jackass. So, fuck you. If someone who's out there, I want to change history because I don't like Phil. He was
change history. Change history.
He wasn't one of the most prolific YouTubers.
Phil, we cannot trust your memory because you're constantly changing the story, constantly moving the goalpost all the time. So how are we supposed to trust you? How are we supposed to go based on your narrative when you are a compulsive liar and you lie all the time? This is like when he... What was the right word? Fuck. What was the right word? When he, not defunded, that's not it. It was when he, debunked. That was it. He made that whole ass fucking debunking stream where he claimed he debunked years of rumors against him, when all he did was say, oh, you gotta take my word for it. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Yeah. Oh, yeah, take my word for it, please. Yeah. I'm like, no, we're not gonna take your word for it, Phil. We're really not. Like, because you lie all the time. So why would we take your word for it when it's the burden of proof is on you? Show us your WWE Champions account, Phil, from your screen right up. You've held your phone to the screen so many goddamn times. But he will refuse to do it. He refused to do it when Adam said it. He refused to do it. So it's like, no, you're not going to ever do that. You can't ever provide proof to back up what you're saying, because what you're saying is bullshit anyway. So why should we believe you, huh?
YouTubers. He wasn't at the top of YouTube ranks. He never was good at Street Fighter. I mean, you want to talk about revisionist history, what these idiotic people have done. And then you get moronic people who are interviewing me, do no research, and then say dumb shit in the interview like the delusions of grandeur, proving how unprofessional and idiotic they are. Yeah, then you get these really stupid fucking takes from people on the internet who don't know shit. Sorry, I'm the person who was there 15 years ago, busting my ass putting out videos on YouTube, basically changing the face of how commentary was done. Where were you? Probably taking a shit, okay? So, I don't want to hear this nonsense from idiots on the internet trying to say dumb shit.
What? Taking a shit for 15 years, huh?
I was there. You can't change history just because you want to believe a negative meme and be toxic about me. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, yes, you can't change history. Well, you are an expert at revising history. You and your revisionist ways are constantly changing history, constantly changing what actually happened to fit your narrative. So I don't want to hear anything about that. And no, we weren't taking a shit. Like, we were doing our own fucking thing. We were probably working an actual job, making actual money, contributing to society, earning steady income instead of bitching on YouTube for 15 years, begging for money all the fucking time. So I don't want to fucking hear about that.
Okay. Let's continue. We have more shout outs to do. I have a $5 tip from Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix. Let's add that to the running total here. Let's see here. So, Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix says, speaking of views, don't forget, Phil, if YouTube actually... Huh? Don't forget, Phil, if YouTube actually scared about people restreaming your live podcast, I believe you'd have 2,000 people watching. No, here's another thing. This is absolutely true.
Oh my god.
People say this all the time. Well, look at your video views. Well, look at your stream views. Guys, you have to understand something.
Here it is.
Some of my biggest fans don't watch my raw content. They watch restreamers. It's true.
Phil, I am not your fan, so I wanted to talk about this for a while. But I got to go to the bathroom, so 1 second, and then we'll get into this. I am sorry. I'm pulling a Phil, and I'll be right back in 1 second. DSP song. Let's find a song for you guys. Here's a Darkseid to Phil song. I shouldn't be any long. I shouldn't even be this long. I'll be right back.
It's time to tip, it's time to tip. Legends are gone, I don't know why. Can't get no sleep at all. Might as well just play some champions. Can't get no booze at all. But even if I could, there would be one stop on my stream up on your phone. I remind you that it's time to tip, it's time to tip.
Dear Phil, I wrote you, but you're still in calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. And I sent 2 tips back in autumn. Must not have got them. I used my mom's credit card. She must have caught them. But anyways, fuck it. What's up, man? How's Jasper? I do think it's fucked up. You've got so many detractors, illegal restreamers, hate channels, reactors, and every single one of them. You're down from the rafters, and every single one of them knows you're always plastered that you were grooming handily and tried to trap her, and every single one of your streams is a disaster. But at least you have support from some overcooked pasta.
Legends are gone, I don't know why. Can't get no sleep at all. Might as well just play some champions. Can't get no booze at all. But even if I could, there would be one stop on my stream up on your phone. I remind you that it's time to tip.
I got an anonymous
it's time
tip.
to tip.
Dear Phil, I've been a fan since 2011. I even got that underground shit with Project 7. I loved all the shit you did with John Rambo. That shit was back. I got a room full of posters and pictures of Cat. My mom, my wife, is pregnant and I'm about to be a father too. If I have a daughter, I'm gonna name it after you. Anyway, I really hope this tip will get you through. Forever yours, your biggest fan. P.S. We should be together too.
Legends are gone, I don't know why. Can't get no sleep at all. Might as well just play some champions. Can't get no booze at all. But even if I could, there would be one stop on my stream up on your phone. I remind
This right here
that it's
sucks.
time to tip, it's time to tip.
Okay, I am back. I apologize for that. Nature calls sometimes, dude. I'm pulling a DSP here. But I got a drink. I went to the bathroom. I washed my hands, unlike some people. Alright. What did he say again? Oh, yes. Phil, people watch restreamers and detractors. All these people that watch detractors and restreamers are not your fans. Okay? Because I thought about it. And at first I thought, when I first thought about it, I was like, yeah, we kind of are his fans in a way because we're getting entertainment from him, but it's not the entertainment he wants, right? But then I thought about it some more, and it's like, well, if you actually, like, you're not a fan of someone unless you actually like that person, right? And none of us like this motherfucker. Like, we all have our personal gripes against this asshole, and none of us really like him at all. So, no. I would argue, and I'm sure everyone out there, every detractor out there, every person who watches the restream are not your fans, Phil. They're watching you to make fun of you. They're watching you to see what kind of stupid shit you say. But we're not fans of yours. If we were fans of yours, we would go to your channel and subscribe and watch live on your thing and like and all this other bullshit that you asked for. And probably tip you. Because you can't be a fan of his unless you're tipping him, right? That's what he says. I'm like, no, we're not fucking fans of yours. They go to restreamers. They go to Dark Dave Mears. They go to Raw DSP. They go to Amleet. They go to Detractorism. They go to Detractor Maiden. All these people that that restream. They go to them to mock you, to make fun of you, to see what stupid shit you say. They don't want to give you the view. They don't want to support you even in watching your own fucking video. And yes, I have in the past gone to his actual, like right now. Like, this is his actual, I'm giving him a view right now, and I'm still fucking subscribed for some reason. Because I subscribed, because at one point I wanted to, like, comment in one of his live chats and, like, fuck around, but I haven't really found a decent stream to do that in yet. So I'm kind of saving that for when I can actually troll when there's something he's talking about live at the moment that I can actually comment in. But that's about it. But no, it's like, I am giving you a view, and technically I am sub to you, but that doesn't make me a fan of yours, Phil. It really doesn't. Yeah, this guy, 847 views from 2 days ago. So that, like, and half the people that do watch your shit are like me, who are restreaming you. Because honestly, like back when, what was it? Back when Dark Dave Mears and Raw DSP had gotten banned from YouTube, I had to go to him directly because, like, I didn't want to go to, like, someone else who's restreaming him because they're talking over him, which is what we all do. Like, that's the whole point of a restream, is to watch him but also talk over him at the same time, right? But, like, if I wanted to get just the raw video of him to talk over him myself, I would usually go to Raw DSP or Dark Dave Mears, but they were gone, so yeah, I had to get in the habit of going to his shit to do it. But that doesn't mean I'm a fan of yours, because I don't like you. In order for me to be a fan of yours, I have to actually like you, and I don't. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, actually. I choose not to like you. I don't like you because you're a piece of fucking shit, and you constantly swindle and mistreat your fans like shit. You're arguably one of the biggest lolcows there are, aside from maybe Chris Jan. So no, I'm not a fan, and that doesn't make everyone else who watches detractor content a fan of yours
We'll look at your
either.
video views. We'll look at your stream views. Guys, you have to understand something. Some of my biggest fans don't watch my raw content. They watch restreamers. It's true.
They're not a fan
They
of
see
yours,
they're
though.
toxic, as toxic idiots because YouTube allows restreams, allows rebroadcasts, right?
It's fair use.
But there's way more people following my content.
That doesn't
than
make
just
them a
the people
fan,
on
though.
my
They have to
channel.
like
Now,
you to
I'm
be a
lucky
fan.
enough to have enough people who support me.
Oh
that
my
it doesn't
gosh.
matter
Because I
what my
beg.
viewer counts are on anything. I can still make a living doing it. But it's absolutely true. There's way more people following my content than just the people on my actual stream. Why do you think there are people like Keemstar who follow me around and talk about me? Do you think Keemstar cares about a no-blow Joe Nobody who no one even knows?
No blow. It's because you're a lol cow. You have the worst takes ever. You're a dumbass. You are so... What's the right word? I don't even know. Like, you are so unbelievably stupid and insane that you do and say the most crazy shit. And that is why people follow you. That doesn't mean they're a fan of yours because they don't actually like you. We're obsessed with the stupid shit that you say because it's like watching a train wreck. If a bunch of people standing there watching a train run into a building or run into a brick wall over and over again, does that mean they're a fan of the train or the brick wall? No, they are here to see a disaster, and that's what we are. We're here to see a tornado like rip apart a barn and take a bunch of cows up in the tornado. We're not a fan of the tornado. We're not cheering the tornado on and giving it money. We just want to see the disaster. It's human nature. Like all these like TV reality TV shows like Big Brother and TMZ and what was that big one? Jersey Shore, right? Like, you're watching them, but you don't like any of the people there. They're all pieces of shit, self-indulgent people. But you're watching it because you want to see the dumb shit that they do. That doesn't make you a fan of them. Are you a fan of that show? No, you want to watch them to see all the fucking stupid shit they do. To see the train wreck continue. And you're the perfect train wreck online, Phil. Whole communities have sprung up around you because your 15 years of content is negativity, bullshit, pandering, begging, slander. You're the internet's biggest train wreck at the moment, and people can't look away. That doesn't mean they support you. That doesn't mean they're a fan of yours, though. Okay?
Of course not. It's because I have people who follow me for probably not good reasons, but they're still following me. My biggest fans are idiots because they fucking are obsessed about me in a toxic, negative way. It's just true.
Arguably, a
These
fan would
obsessed
like you, though.
morons who just can't get enough of Dark Side Phil for some weird fucking reason. Normal people who watch my content aren't like that. But there's thousands of people constantly watching toxic content about me, and they're essentially my biggest fans because they're so obsessed. You understand? So, there you go. It's really ridiculous. People say, oh, you only have 300 viewers on your podcast. Yeah, and how many people are watching on the restream? And how many people will be watching this on another person's channel who microanalyzes it? And we'll take the last segment about delusions of grandeur and blow it up and make a
grandeur.
Video about it. You know what was really
not
funny?
grandeur.
I have to say this. I know this is completely off topic, but just listen to this.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm doing something on YouTube like a day or two ago. And, videos show up in related videos, right? And a video showed up of one of my haters or whatever, and it said something like, DSP blows up about Review Tech appearing on the Side Scrollers podcast, okay? And I looked at it, and I was like, now, I gotta be transparent here. I had no idea that Rich appeared on the Side Scrollers podcast. I knew that Boogie had been on it, but I had no clue. After the whole debacle with Boogie and Wings and the podcast they wanted to do, and then they did their stupid fight, and then Keemstar trying to cause drama, I completely ignored the whole situation, and I'm not in the loop on any of this anymore. I'm not following any of it. They're doing their own shit, talking about me constantly, and I'm paying no attention to any of their antics. I'm just here focused on my positive content. I'm paying no attention to the white noise outside of this stream. This is my focus. You guys in the community and this content, not them. I don't care about them. All right. So I look at this and I'm like,
I'm not really seeing
what?
the video he's talking about. I think he's kind of
literally says
making shit up
Phil
here.
explodes. Like he's so angry.
I'm not seeing it, Phil.
Rich appearing on a Side Scrollers podcast. I'm like, I didn't even know that happened. And then I stupidly
Seems
shouldn't have
kind
done
of
this. I
bullshit
clicked
to
on it,
me.
And of course, then it opens up all the related content. And yeah, apparently, I guess Rich did appear on the podcast. And I guess at one point on one of my podcasts, I didn't specifically say a word about Rich or Side Scrollers, but I was talking generally about something. And these idiots actually took it out of context, saying that's what I was talking about, even though I didn't even know it happened. I have no clue what happened with him appearing on their podcast. I don't know what they talked about. I don't care. I'm completely out of
Exit out on that.
I'm done with it. Like I told you guys.
He's such a narcissist. He wants to know what everyone talks about. Like if they're talking about, if he knows someone's talking about him, he is such a narcissist that he 100% does want to know what they're talking about him about. He will poke his nose in and he will actually see what they're talking. If they mention him, what they're talking about him about, he will know.
I'm not involved in it anymore, nor do I care. If someone mentions it in the chat, ban. You're out of here, dude. I want absolutely no at all. No involvement with any of their
We've
drama
all
or
seen
bullshit.
like you asking your fans to like see
right?
what people are talking
But it's
about
hilarious.
you
This is what people
before.
do. So my biggest fans watch my content, make fun of it.
I'm not a fan of
take it out
yours,
context,
Phil.
and make content of their own out of it. And those are my fans.
No.
Those are fans, even though they're toxic, negative idiots.
No, because a fan has to like you. We don't like you. That's the whole ideal of a fan. Oh, I'm a fan of Britney Spears. I'm a fan of Eminem. That means they like that person. I've never heard a fan be someone who hates a person. I really fucking hate Insane Clown Posse. I'm such a fan of them. Like, that makes no sense. That's an oxymoron right there, Phil.
They're still fans, or else they wouldn't watch my shit every
No,
day, right?
no.
Okay.
Again, we watch it because you're such a fucking loser train wreck. That's why we watch it. And because you're constantly abusing and lying to your audience. So yeah, we're upset at you because you constantly abuse your audience. So we pick it apart and prove that you're lying about everything.
Anyway. Excuse me. Let's continue, shall we? Another tip. Here we go. A $6.66
More
tip
gold
has
dust.
come in. When are we getting interviews on DSP Reacts? At this point, there is zero
Never.
plans for that, and you know why. I told you 2 months ago. Actually, at this point, almost 3 months ago why. I had lots of plans for DSP Reacts this year, some unique content that I wanted to do, and one of them was going to be an interview series where I was going to sit...
He really wanted to interview a Review Tech USA and probably the quartering again and maybe Wings. Those are the three he was trying to get, especially Review Tech USA, because right after the fucking interview, he was trying to reach out and make amends to Rich. He was being like, oh, I know there's a lot behind, and his kid was sick at the time too, so he was trying to use that to try to like buy in or like mend the gap so he can have him on for an interview. I almost guarantee that's what it was.
With interesting people from all walks of life. It wasn't just going to be, people that you guys are necessarily hyper familiar with, but I was going to try to kind of reach out to my contacts from over the years. I was going to have
What contacts? You've made no fucking contacts over the years, Phil. You had plenty of opportunities when you were on the ground floor of YouTube to make friends, to work and do collabs with other people, and you never did any of that. What friends are you talking about? You could have had all these contacts, all these cool friends. You could have collabed with Tobuscus or Markiplier when they were first starting out, but you didn't.
People, yes, some would be gaming related, some would not be. I actually had one guest 100% confirmed lined up to appear, and another that I was in.
So why don't you tell us who they are? Since it's not going to happen now, why don't you name drop them, huh? That would provide better proof than just speaking out of your
Props
ass
to
like
have him
that.
here. Okay? And no, by the way, it's no one that you guys are thinking. It's not. It's like, oh, he was gonna have wings. No, it wasn't that. It was
Okay,
other
then
people.
who? Bitch.
But what ended up happening?
Some no-name
was
person who no one
the
knows
interview
about?
happened with side scrollers, and it turned into something so disgustingly toxic. Not the interview, but all the fallout.
Oh,
afterwards
no, not
because
the
of way
interview.
that they behave themselves to get over and make money.
Oh, yes, they made so much money. Like, they were literally just reading the super chats that were going on during the fucking interview itself that they didn't get to actually read.
It became such a negative, toxic thing for me and my community.
Gotta monetize
that
the
people didn't
haters,
wanna be
bro.
involved with me. So people backed out. They're like, nah, obviously now we can't. What's the point? If we appear, all it's going to be is negative shit for us. If we appear, you're going to get harassed online and stuff by haters. So, and they're right. 1,000,000% right. It's
No one would have done that. Like, if like, whoever it was would have interviewed DSP or whatever, no one's gonna bitch. Like, people will be like, who the fuck's this guy? Maybe look into the content they make, but no one's gonna actually actively harass someone just because they're on a show with him. Because they're not a piece of shit like Phil is, arguably. Unless they are another lol cow, but if it wasn't another lol cow, no one would fuck with them.
it's shitty.
Shit, what did I do?
And that's life, I
hit
guess.
the wrong
What else
button.
can I say, right? But you deal with it. So I made a bad call, and at this point, yeah, we're all still suffering from it because I would have had more.
Are we suffering from it, guys?
June, I probably would have had at least one, if not two, interviews live on DSP Reacts. It was going to be DSP Asks It, a series where I interview people about all kinds of stuff. And
Okay.
it was one person, you'd be shocked who it was going to be. Let's put it that way. You would never.
Well,
would
then
have
tell
expected I would have
us.
gotten this person on the show.
Uh-huh.
And it's because of
You can still do
contacts
it.
and things that I had from my
Still
past.
do it.
And you would have been like, "Wow, that's really insightful and interesting." It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, okay, we would have said that, huh?
Why? Because of scumbags. Because of fucking greedy people.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that nice, right? Unprofessional people who.
It's
don't care
all
about
our
themselves.
fault.
That's life.
And they're greedy.
I've
Side
learned
scroll
about
is just
this,
fucking greedy,
now, and
huh?
like I said, that's why I don't trust anyone, and I'm not doing this kind of shit anymore.
Trust
It's
me,
not worth my time
Ree.
involved in this kind of shit. I'm just done with it all. I'm tapped out of that
Jesus.
nonsense, and I'm just here for you guys to make positive content. Okay. All right. Continuing on. Cyrax did a super chat.
Cyrax,
Said,
that's a
content.
troll.
Street Fighter 6 is crazy with dropped inputs. It should be able to track something like that. Is that possible? I don't know what you mean, okay? Because here's the thing. Dropped inputs could be a variety of factors. When I say a dropped input, here's what I mean. I have my controller in my hand. I press the kick button. Nothing happens in the game. Okay? Now, what could cause that? There's a variety of factors that can cause that. It could be the controller itself, which means the physical aspect of the controller, the switch malfunctioning or something not registering. It could be a wireless connection between this controller and the console that's getting interfered with wirelessly. Okay? It could be the wireless connection dropped the input, or it could be that the wireless connection caused a delay, and because of that, the move got stuffed and never came out. It could be the actual online play of the game causing an issue that drops an input. You know what I'm saying? Like, there could be so many factors. It could be me. It could be, I swear I pressed the button, but somehow I missed it or didn't. Okay? There's a million things that could all be a factor when it comes to something that's called a dropped input. So, if I'm playing online, I'm Zangief, right? And the enemy jumps at me, and I say, all right, here it comes. Level 1 super. And I input the aerial, the input for the level 1 anti-air super. And I get standing light kick instead of the super. I'm going to say, oh my God, it dropped my input. It didn't give me the move. I did the input and I didn't get it, right? What could it have been? It could have been a bunch of factors.
Sounds like
Now,
an excuse to me.
From what I've experienced, I'm going to actually defend Street Fighter 6. And I'm going to say I don't think it's the online netcode. There's a couple matches I've had that were questionable with the netcode. For the most part, I've been playing Street Fighter 6 for a flat week now, right? I've had no issues with the online play. This is by far the best online experience I've ever had with any fighting game. I don't know how they did it because this is leaps and bounds better than any game previous. I'm happy. I'm almost proud. This is a game franchise I've been involved with since the 90s, and it's gone through some ups and downs. Street Fighter V was the worst of the worst. Now
It wasn't that bad.
arguably
Street Fighter
the
V was
best
not
of the
that bad.
best. Okay? So I'm going to say I don't think it's the netcode or anything like that at all. I think that it's superb. I think that it could be many different factors.
you're sucking the game's dick, huh?
For example, this joystick. I have no clue
Clue.
how this joystick performs.
I have
This was
no
purchased
clue.
for me by a fan about a year and a half ago as a Christmas present. It literally sat unused for a year.
Merry fucking
and I've been using
Christmas.
it for the betas and now for the full release of Street Fighter 6. It's really the first time I'm using it. I don't know if the Fighting Stick Alpha is a good joystick or not. It could have more input delay than other joysticks. It could actually have issues with dropped inputs. I don't know. I didn't do the research. I'm just using what I got, right? This particular wired setup may create more input delay than other joysticks. I don't know. I don't know if the Xbox version of Street Fighter 6 is better or worse than other versions that could cause dropped inputs or delay. I don't know. I haven't done any of this research. I'm just playing the game and enjoying it for what it is. But if I drop a move, I'm going to call it out and say, man, I swear I did that move and it didn't come out and it's frustrating to me. That doesn't mean that I'm hating on the game. I think too many idiots out there always want to make something toxic and negative. Just because I'm saying a fact about what just happened, I know I did that input, it didn't come out. That doesn't mean I'm blaming the game, the joystick. I don't know what
You
caused
always
it, all
blame
right?
the game, Phil.
I'm
What are you
41
talking
years old.
about?
Very
What?
much. These issues could be me. They could all be me.
What was that, Phil? Phil? Sorry. I'm squeaking a little bit here. But you are constantly blaming the game all the time, Phil. Uh. Like, he's always blaming the game all the freaking time. And now he's like, oh, it's not me, it's not the game. I know it's not the game, it's not the netcode. It could be me. Yeah, it probably fucking is. All the time it could be you.
I mean, I don't know
'Cause it is you.
what caused it.
Oh,
All right?
I'm
Listen,
getting old.
I am 41 years old. Very much. These issues could be me. They could all be me. Literally, every single issue of a dropped move could have been me. I have no way to prove this, all right? Now, what some people are saying is there's a way to display your inputs on the screen, okay? That is true for what I'm to understand. You can make it so all your button inputs get showed on the screen. But number one, that's so intrusive. You're going to have a million commands on the side of the screen blocking the fucking view. That's number one. You don't want to do that. Number two, that's only representative of what's actually being registered in the game. So to give you an example, let's say I have this joystick and I press light kick. The game doesn't show it as an input. So now it looks like I never pressed the button, but I did, right? So is this the joystick's fault?
But, like, can't you have the game show your inputs on the screen? I know in training mode it does, but, like, when you're actually fighting other people, can't you choose to have it show on the screen? But he doesn't do that. So I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Could that be the joystick's fault? It could be. Could it be the Xbox's fault? It could be. But the game won't register it. So actually seeing, all you're seeing when you look at inputs is what registered. You're not seeing what actually was input. The only true way to judge inputs would have some kind of a third-party software running actually reading the joystick input, which doesn't exist. What people are asking for does not exist. The in-game input reading is only representative of what got to the game. That doesn't mean that that's what was actually pushed. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, there you go. But like I said, I'm 41 years old at this point. Likely 99% of the issues are me. It's me being so rusty,
you're right.
not having played
It
competitive
is
fighting
you.
games for
It's
so
always
long,
you.
not being in the loop of competitive
You.
fighting games. I mean,
It's not the
ignored Street
game's
Fighter V
fault,
outside
but
of,
he's
like, the first
always
6
blaming
months.
the game for
I
it,
literally
though.
ignored Street Fighter V because I hated it, right? So I'm behind. I'm playing catch up with everyone. I am pleasantly pleased with how I've been doing. The fact that I'm actually overall got more wins than losses in the week that I've been playing Street Fighter 6 is remarkable. Because so
you
out of the
button
loop,
mash.
you know what I'm
You
saying?
button
Like,
mash.
I'm so behind everyone else. So many people got into competitive fighting games around the time of Street Fighter V and have been playing nonstop, and they're jumping in. And here's me being out of it for 10 years. And I'm trying to get back into it. And the fact that I have a winning record is, I'm shocked. I really do. I'm completely shocked that I have a winning record with these characters. You know, like, what the heck? So, some people, Phil's getting bodied. I don't care. Listen, at least I'm hanging. At least it's not every match isn't getting spanked like this, right? No, I'm actually hanging. I'm getting wins. Like, that's cool. That makes me it's enjoyable for everyone. It's enjoyable for you. It's enjoyable for me. I'm happy with that. I know I'm old, right? I know that I'm probably way above the average age of anyone playing this game.
You are. Cool. You're old as fuck.
And I'm going to continue to play and enjoy.
And you're
whatchamacallit.
You guys
continue to enjoy the content, and I'm going to hope to get better. All right? But no, make no bones about it. When I say, there's a dropped input, I'm not blaming the game. It could be so many different factors. It definitely could be me. I don't think the problem is finding the root cause. The problem is trying to make it so it doesn't happen a million times further. One thing I really have an issue with, and I found out about it. I know what's going on. Okay. So
you are dropping inputs, like you've all been saying forever that it's actually been his whatchamacallit.
Watched on demand the Zangief
it's
gameplay,
him dropping inputs because he just doesn't know what. Ooh, what do you have?
I can't see it. We're on the internet. I can't see your hand.
He always does that fucking joke, and it's so annoying.
If you saw the Zangief gameplay, there was a running theme that I said, and the running theme is I kept accidentally getting air 360, like jump and air spitting pile driver, when I didn't want it. I found out why. Someone analyzed Street Fighter 6 and found a really weird thing. Street Fighter 6 holds your inputs for an incredibly long period of time. If you don't release a direction, it'll continue to do the input for some weird reason. No Street Fighter game has ever done this before. So, for example, you can do a 360 motion resulting in a jump and hold that direction, and the entire time Zangief is up there, the 360 is stored. And if at any point you hit kick, he'll then do air 360. So here's what's happening. I'm down back blocking. I've decided I want to jump forward and do a medium kick. So I go from down back and I kind of do like a rounded jump up, which I guess the game is reading as a 360. It's not, but the game has such lax input shortcuts that it's reading it as a 360. I'm holding up, I press kick, the game thinks I want air 360. I don't. I mean, that's ridiculous. I went from down back to up forward, jumped a full arc, and as I'm landing doing a kick and it's giving me air 360, that's like a full second of a charged move that it's giving out. That's ridiculous. I don't want a full second of a charged move, but people are discovering this about the game. So these are things that need to be learned and things that we need to discover and try to figure out. So, for example, to avoid that, I have to jump and go to neutral. I have to jump and not hold a direction, and then press kick, and I'll get my jump kick instead of aerial 360, which I don't want. You see?
I don't see, Phil. I really don't.
Anyway. All right, guys. So, essentially, that's the show. We actually just, if you can believe it, we just went coast to coast on the show there. Thank you for a great podcast. Now, just so you guys remember, anything that just happened, contributions-wise, during this podcast rolls over to DSP versus the Internet. So don't worry, this tip goal and all that will be retained, and that means when we start DSP versus the Internet, I will have Gunner glasses on because we did hit the $50 tips goal. Okay. Reminder, today's show's a little different. It's random order. We're going to watch the Ultra member videos first. Okay. Then we're going to switch to the standard members playlist, and we're going to be doing the random order and see how it works. I hope it works well. I hope you guys like the show. I hope you'll join me. What's going to happen is, as I end the podcast, a link will pop up. If you're live on the stream, you can click and go right over to DSP Reacts, and I'll actually have that show running for you within, say, 10 minutes. I have to change a bunch of the things, like the stream key and a bunch of the pop-ups and everything.
So why don't you just do your fucking podcast on the other channel anyway? Right. It's not related to gaming. Alright, fuck you. Enough of that. Yeah, I couldn't find that video he was talking about either. Really quick before I go, I know a lot of people are on right now, so I don't want to take you too much, but there was one thing. I don't know if I should react to this now, near the end, or if I should wait and do it as part of a video. Oh, Shinko's on now too. That's cool. Yeah, man, everyone's freaking doing shit. Oh, no, it's not. Is he still on or is he off? He's not live right now, is he? No, he's done. Okay, so he's done for until his night stream then. What do you have, like 64? Alright.
Hate Army General.
Shout out to Hate Army.
Your name is Hate Army?
I guess we'll do it really quick and then I'll be
Hate
done.
Army shout out.
Good vibes to the Hate Army.
Shout out for Hate.
If you don't know what Abdullah is talking about, yesterday there was a massive 30 to 40 minute digital presentation from Bethesda exclusively talking about Starfield. It was like a giant expose about this game. It talked about the characters, the world, the combat, the leveling system, the shipbuilding, the crew building, the sim elements, the action elements, the space exploration, the space combat, taking over ships in space. It talked about everything, okay? But the one thing they didn't talk about was the frame rate. Because
here we go.
Seemed to be running at
Fucking frame rate again, folks. My fellow fox strays. Whatever. I probably should drop and stop saying that. That sounds kind of lame, doesn't it? Anyway, DSP has always been a frame rate snob. Always. He doesn't care if the story is good. He doesn't care if the gameplay is good. He doesn't even really care how well the graphics look. He doesn't care about the lore, the characters, character development. The only thing that makes a game good or bad, in his opinion, is frame rate. If the game has shitty frame rate, the whole game is shit. Doesn't matter if it's like the best story, the best gameplay ever made. It does not matter if the frame rate is bad. That's all he fucking cares about. Phil, I've played so many games that are 30 frames per second, and it still plays, runs, and it's fine, and you can barely even tell it's 30 frames per second unless you're a little frame rate snob bitch like him. I've seen I can't tell the difference between 30 and 60. Like, it's not that big a deal.
Or lower. Whenever they went into combat, the frame rate visibly dipped when they were playing this game.
The game is not out yet, dummy. It's probably just a beta they were playing with. Like the review, not even the review copies. It's like the beta. It's just for show. Obviously, they're still working on it. It's not complete. They probably didn't give them the fully. I don't remember when the game actually comes out, but like usually like for visual stuff like that, they won't even give them like the most updated version. It's just the visual demo, whatever it is.
For their big blowout expose. And the question during this, when everyone's watching it, is if this is supposed to be the flagship game for Bethesda, if this is the big new IP, why is the presentation running at 30 frames per second or lower? Right? Like, what is up with that? So they were interviewing Todd Howard, the head guy at Bethesda, yesterday, and he had this to say in an interview. I'm going to paraphrase, okay? Oh, yeah, we locked that game at 30 frames because we want to have the absolute fidelity and quality. Yeah, we want all of
this
that.
camera is way
So
too close to him. We do not need to see his
we're
face
having
this
it locked at
freaking
30
close.
frames. Oh, yeah, don't worry. The game does run at 60 frames at times, but it does dip, and we just want it to be consistent. We feel like consistency is key in this game. We don't want it going up and down and up and down. So we're locking it at 30 frames, all right? And the hilarious part about that is, immediately, the Bethesda Fanboy Defense Force goes into effect. They come out of the woodwork. Oh, it's because the world is so big and there's so many elements in it. And because, did you see the sandwich hoarder scene? So there's a scene where there's a woman who says, I like to go to spaceships that I've taken over and I steal the sandwiches off the ship and I bring them to my ship and I have a pile of sandwiches in my storeroom as like a symbol of my conquests of enemy ships. I just pile sandwiches on top. And the hilarious part is they're saying, Oh, see? Because this game is tracking each innocuous, meaningless item. And you can keep those sandwiches in there. They don't disappear. That's why the game has to run at 30 frames. Because if it ran at 60 frames, it couldn't handle that.
We're way too fucking close. What are you doing? Did you hate army? What the fuck?
You fucking idiot.
Yes, you are.
Unbelievable. The shit that they're saying to defend this game. All right? Now listen. Out of all the things I saw, I thought that there was a lot of good stuff that they presented about Starfield. All right? I'm going to be, when I do my full video about this on DSP Reacts, I'll go into a lot more detail. All right? I do feel like there was a lot of positive things that look good about the game. All right? The worst thing about it is 30 frames because it didn't run at 30 frames. It ran sub 30 frames in combat. What this tells me is that they pumped an incredible amount of stuff into the game and never bothered to figure out if their graphical engine could handle it. And it can't. So they said, fuck it, lock it at 30. And now people will, you know, are just going to have to deal with it. Because I guarantee you, the parts that run at 60 are probably like you're sitting in a room by yourself, picking your nose, right? Reading a data log off the fucking screen, then it runs at 60. But the moment you're stepping out into the open world and there's combat and there's stuff going on, I guarantee you it dips. And it's the graphic engine. It can't handle it. So they're, you know, again, they're throwing in the towel. Again, here we are again. It's 2023. We've got these current gen consoles that we know are capable of amazing, smooth 60 frames gameplay because we've got tons of games that run at that. But some of these big AAA game devs can't be bothered. We can't be bothered to have our big AAA game run at the frame rate everyone wants as the standard. Well, then I can't be bothered to say that your game is going to be good because I don't know. I really don't. I'll be honest. Yeah, if I was going to pay for this game, $70, I'd be pretty fucking pissed if I was paying $70 for Starfield and you were telling me it's going to run at 25 frames per second or 20 frames per second during combat. I'd be like, you're out of your goddamn mind. There's no fucking way I'm going to buy that. But here's the thing. It's a Game Pass game. So, because it's a Game Pass game and no one's actually going to buy the goddamn thing, we're all just going to use Game Pass, you know. Now, you're like, well, I guess it's a pass, right? Well, I don't know. You know me. If I play this game and it bothers me that the frame rate is chugging, I'm going to be honest about it. And I don't care how many morons...
You're being honest about it, fine, but like, you're just being a little bitch. It's not...
No, a AAA game...
It's not a fair opinion, Phil. It really is not, okay? Like, you are being a little snobby, stuck-up, entitled princess who thinks that the only thing that matters in these games is frame rate, when that's not the case. You can still have a good game running at 30 frames per second, and it will still be fine. It's not a fair opinion you're having. It's your honest, dumbass opinion, yes, because you really believe it, because you're a snob. Or an elitist, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but that doesn't mean it's fair.
From Bethesda in 2023 should not be running at sub 30 frames per second at any fucking time at all. There is no excuse for it. If it can't handle it, then downgrade the game. Maybe you went too far. Maybe you went too extensive. Maybe you delved too deep into the realm of something that you can't handle.
Oh, okay, they went to mortar.
So it runs at fucking smooth frame rate. You can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You know what they said? The dwarves dug too deep and they unearthed the fucking Balrog. Well, maybe they fucking
Balrog? The Balrog? Is it a rug you lay on the floor? It's called Balrog, not Balrog. Oh, it's a Balrog, and they need to place it on the floor and put it back in again, guys. Jesus.
And they fucked up, and they gotta rebury the Balrog. Anyway, so that's my take on it. The game actually, from what they presented, has a lot of promise. But it's just that. It's promise. Because on paper, the game sounds good. But the question is, overall, will that translate to a fun game? That I don't know. But the frame rate issue is inexcusable. It should be running at 60. It's not. We have to settle for 30. If this thing dips below 30,
settle.
fuck that shit. I'm sorry, Bethesda. This is their chance. After a bunch of fails, right? To show that they're still at the level they used to be. It's been a long time since we had a new IP from them, and it's...
When was the last time Bethesda failed at a game? Could someone tell me? Like, what game is he talking about that failed from Bethesda? Bethesda usually have had made pretty big, like, hits in terms of games. I don't know what game he's talking about that was a fail, really. I mean, Dishonored and Dishonored 2, I'm pretty sure... No, that was Arcane Studios. That wasn't... Well, Bethesda funded it, but I don't think that was... That was Arcane. I mean, Skyrim did really good, and the only fail Bethesda had was Fallout 76. That was the only real fail they had. So, like, one fail out of all... Like, a lot is not that bad.
It's been a long time since we had any kind of a huge AAA release from them. This game better shine. If not... It's going to lose a lot of confidence. Like, no one's going to have confidence in Bethesda anymore. So it's got to be good. They better not fuck this up. Easy Mode said, I will gladly play a 30 frames per second game if the game is fun. Listen, I agree with you. If this game is stellar and has tons of fun elements to it, great story, you know, so much stuff, it's immersive, right? It feels unique and interesting. That's another key thing. It feels unique and interesting. I don't want Starfield to feel like I'm playing Fallout again, but in space. I want it to be something unique and interesting.
That's kind of what they're going for, though, Phil. It's like... What? That's what they're trying to do. It's like Outer Worlds, but like on steroids. It's like they took the concept of Outer Worlds and they jacked it up to 11, and now we have this. What are you talking about? That's kind of what it is.
That stands apart as its own intellectual property. Do you understand? And I need it to be that for me. I don't want to play Fallout again. I don't want to play Skyrim again. I want to play a unique new experience. If that's the case...
Motherfucker, you don't want to play Skyrim or Fallout again? You play, like, 2 Bethesda, like, games every year. You're always playing a Bethesda... you're always playing a Fallout or a Skyrim or an Oblivion or a Morrowind or Fallout New Vegas. You're always playing these all the time, over and over and over again, Phil. You clearly like these types of games, so what the hell are you talking about all of a sudden?
And it's fun. I don't care what the frame rate is, as long as it's not buried under, you know, I don't want to be chugging along and dropping and feeling like shit. Easy Mode says the deep dive into Starfield gave me more confidence than the other reveal. Oh, of course. They actually went to the gameplay elements. They explained everything very, very, very in depth, which was good. You know, the first gameplay reveal, you didn't even know what it was. Like, is this No Man's Sky with guns? That, you know, with combat? That's what...
No Man's Sky had guns and combat, Phil. What are you talking about? You had guns. You had combat. You could be in the ship flying and fighting and doing dog fights. Hello?
It looked like. Now it looks a little different. I would say the combat looks pretty fun, but I'm afraid it's going to get very grindy and repetitive. That's going to become Borderlands, you know? Which I hope it's not. I hope it's not Borderlands, because then you're going to fall asleep. I guess we'll see.
I liked Borderlands. What are you talking about?
How do you think the 1,000 planets will look? There's no way they handcrafted thousands of quests and lore. No. Here's what it's going to be. Here's my guess. And I'm pretty good at these guesses. Like, for example,
no, you're not.
Years ago when we were looking at Watch Dogs Legion, and everyone said, how could it be possible that every character is a unique character that has their own story? And I said, they're not. I guarantee you they're all going to have archetypes. There'll be the driver, there'll be the old woman, there'll be this, that, and they'll just be archetypes. And yes, the characters will be unique in those archetypes, but it's only going to be unique stories for the archetype only. I hit it right on the fucking head. That's exactly what they did to cut corners. Okay? So here's what I'm thinking. Let's say they claim there's 1,000 planets. First of all, that's false. There's probably going to be a bunch of major planets, and then there's going to be moons or asteroids. But they're still going to count those as planets, even though they're not. As long as it's something that's landable and interactable, they say it's a planet. Doesn't mean it's a planet, but they're going to call it a planet anyway. Okay? So right off the bat, let's say you have the solar system. Every moon in the solar system will count as a planet, even though all those moons will be boring. except for maybe the human moon. I guarantee you all the other moons will be barren, boring, nothing there. But hey, you can land there and get a resource, so it's a planet. So right off the bat, right? The solar system, you would think would only be like, you know, maybe 10 bodies or something to interact with. Oh no, they'll say it's like 50 because of all those moons. They all count, right? Oh, okay. I see. So that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to have these systems where maybe in each system, there'll be like 5 to 10 meaningful planets you can land on, and each planet may have like one town, and then the story-based planets will be the robust ones, which will have major civilizations plus, you know, dungeons and or iterations where you do content. But I guarantee you that each planet will maybe have one thing to do on each, and then all those other things out there will just be for mining and or resources. There's absolutely no fucking way that there's 1,000 unique planets with things to do on them. That's
He's
nuts
so
and ridiculous,
pessimistic
and it's
too.
not-
He has like
it's not
no hope
realistic,
for anything.
but
He's
it's their
just so
fault for saying it
jaded.
the way that they did, right? They just shouldn't say planets.
And it's
They're
quite
not
clear that
planets.
he's
You
not
say
like a real
bodies.
gamer
Like,
or
you
excited
can
about any of
land
this.
1,000 places in the game, but by the way, probably only maybe 100, if that, will have anything meaningful on them. That would be an accurate representation of what the game would be, but they're not going to say that because they want it to sound better than it is. Michelangelo 505 says, I feel Starfield's combat AI looks weak. Should be the last priority these days in RPGs. They also mentioned they're using a new animation system. This might be a shortcoming. If from all they showed, the enemies look terrible. Like, the enemies look incredibly generic. Nothing unique about them whatsoever. And they look like they just stand around, right? Like, everything they showed of the combat, oh, well, I like to use my jetpack and fly above the enemies and throw mines down and blow them up. Okay, why are the enemies just fucking standing there? Right? Oh, I like to run in with my fists. Okay, why is the enemy just standing there while you punch it? Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you're not like the $6 million man and you're super fast and you're running through and you're the only one with all these abilities and everyone else is just a fucking dummy that you shoot or kill instantly. I hope not.
They're all a bunch of fills that you go around killing. It's a fill killing simulator.
What's the one interesting thing about the possibility in outer space that's interesting that you think you'd want to be in this game? Okay?
Dogfights?
Aliens.
Oh, or
Alien
aliens.
races. Other intelligent life that you find yourself opposed.
Aliens. Who built the pyramids? Aliens.
Fighting. So far, all they've shown are animals. Like,
So if they created like other intelligent aliens, like in No Man's Sky, he would just shit on the design. He's like, oh, look how stupid this one looks. Oh, that's what alien. This design is terrible. Like, he would still shit on it, even if there were other aliens in it. And we don't know if there are or not. We've been given no real news on it or anything. So how the hell are we supposed to know?
they haven't shown any intelligent life to fight against.
Well, I'm seeing no intelligent life coming from you either, Phil. So I mean,
because again, it's going to be like Fallout. Like, you're in fucking space. There absolutely better be aliens in this fucking game. If not, I think you missed the mark. You know what I'm saying? It's like maybe scratch my head like, how are there no fucking aliens? Anyway, Swaggins, oh, this is funny. Swaggins says people with $5,000 PCs will be laughing at us because they're going to play Starfield at 120 frames per second while console players are stuck at 30. What would you say to them? I would say, good luck. You'll need it with the track record that we have seen with launch PC games in the last couple of years.
oh my god, this guy's a fucking moron. Here he is, the whole like, oh, PC sucks, console master race, apparently.
With the track record that we have seen with launch PC games in the last couple of years, I'd be very excited to see if you're going to get good performance or not.
I really don't like him being this close to the fucking screen either.
That's all I'm going to say.
Jesus. Typically, Bethesda PC titles are actually usually pretty good. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Plus the whole ability to mod everything and everything.
Grim Ripper did a $2 super chat. Says, when I saw Starfield, it looked like No Man's Sky. I'll tell you this, absolutely. The planet exploration looks like No Man's Sky. But I think the reason is No Man's Sky actually kind of was trying to hit this first and just couldn't do it. Like, No Man's Sky was ambitious. No Man's Sky wanted to make Starfield, but it was made by
a game that came out 5 years before Starfield was even announced wanted to be the game that came out and that hasn't even come out yet. Does that make any sense? Like, what?
the dev team, as we saw, when I did the big Internet Historian React 2 months ago, and it went through the history of No Man's Sky and all of that, and it showed that Sean Murray was
sure you paid a whole lot of
ambitious, but
attention
just
to
didn't
it,
have the
too.
means to do what he wanted to do. I think they wanted to make this game. They just couldn't do it. You needed a ginormous, storied, experienced, well-funded studio like Bethesda to actually pull off the game. Right? So that's the way I see it. Is that's why it looks like that, because this is the culmination of the idea of what No Man's Sky wanted to do. Now you might say, well, isn't it lame that they're not doing something original? Yes. I said that last year when they first showed the original.
So, if a game is sci-fi and takes place in space, it's just not original. But a fighting game that is the same as every other Street Fighter game, basically, that is new and original, right? Is what he's trying to say? Or like a shooting game where you shoot people in modern warfare tactics. That's new and original. Like, what? Phil never knows what he wants. He never knows what the fuck he wants. And it's so annoying. Because he has, like, he has the most insane expectations for games that no one could ever possibly live up to, because he himself doesn't even know what he wants. Does that make sense? Like, I've said this so many times before. It's like, he just loves to complain, really, is all it comes down to. But it's like, I want this game to be original. Like, do you know what original even means? You know how insane it would have to be for a game to be original and do something that's never been done in a video game before? Like, that is almost insane to do. Like, how are you going to pull off something that's literally never been done before in a video game? Like, if you think about it, almost every single thing has been done in a video game before. Like, I can maybe come up with a few, like, ideals, but, like, they kind of involve furries, so I'm not gonna go there. But, like, outside of that, like, it's so hard to come up with a deal of, like, something that's super, super unique and, like, creative, like, whatever the hell he expects in a game, right? Like, what do you want? It's like, so if a game takes place in space, it's automatically unoriginal because there have been so many other games that took place in space. But, like, again, Street Fighter, that's fine. That's original and new, apparently. Diablo 4 doing the same thing as Diablo 3 and that's fine and original. Like, what isn't original to this dumbass? He wants people to literally reinvent the globe over and over and over again. But, like, no, to reinvent the globe, it's like, oh, this time it's square, this time it's an oval, this time, like, what do you want?
Starfield,
I don't understand.
Why did they just take?
And he can't even provide examples of what he's talking about. He's like, what would be original to you, DSP? Could you tell me what would be original, since apparently you're never satisfied with anything? What exactly are you wanting to see out of this game? He can't even tell us that.
It's all the elements in No Man's Sky they couldn't pull off, combined with the Fallout engine. And I got shat on. Oh, you're just being a hater. I was like, no, that's literally what the game is. Are you not seeing that? It's just, you're taped two franchises together to try to make a better game. Now, again, it could work. It absolutely.
And didn't he like Outer Worlds? Like, I'm pretty sure he, like, praised Outer Worlds for being original and all this other shit when Obsidian made it and did that. And basically, Outer Worlds looks just like Starfield, except Starfield is trying to be a little bit more realistic. But other than that, it looks about the same anyway. So why did he like not have any issues with fucking Outer Worlds, but he has tons of issues with Starfield, and Starfield is not even out yet. They're just showing like public teaser trailers and stuff. It's not even finished being made. So obviously what they're showing is like test footage that isn't near completion or anything yet either. So like what the fuck?
Positively could work. Semi-NF says just because something's original doesn't mean it's good. That is correct.
Exactly.
Attempts at these game companies to make something original or different.
Stop picking at your face.
Into fun. If it doesn't translate into fun, there's no point. That you missed the mark, right? So
I don't think he ever has fun watching video game or playing video games ever, honestly, anyway. He never has fun.
Let's see, maybe it will be fun. Maybe you'll have a fun game.
You don't know what fun is.
Addictive. I don't know. Mess says, what about No Man's Sky combined with Halo? I'm not reading. Halo is just a first-person shooter. It doesn't have any RPG elements or anything. This game is definitely Fallout. You can tell just by watching it. They took Fallout 4 and they combined it with No Man's Sky. CD says, I feel like the last good Bethesda game was Skyrim. What do you say to that? Well, if you got to look at the games.
What the hell? Look
so
at this rocking! Holy
right?
shit! Because we zoomed in so much, but
then
still,
there
Jesus.
Was, I want to say, was it Elder Scrolls Online? Was the next one? Then it was Fallout 4, and then it was Fallout 76, right? And then there was 4 zillion expansions for Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, right? And that's been it. They haven't actually had like a major release in many, many years, right? So you may have a point. You may actually have a point there. So I guess we'll see. I don't know. By the way, I liked Fallout 4. The thing I didn't like about Fallout 4 was the base building bullshit. Outside of that, I thought the game was good. I liked the story and everything. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people hated that game. I thought it was decent. I got into Game of the Year when it came out because I was so immersed in the story. Of course, over time, it loses its effect. But at the time, I loved it.
So I'm looking. Yeah, so Fallout 76 was the last Bethesda game that was actually created by Bethesda. Obviously, Bethesda also was the not the developer, the other one, I don't remember what it's called. But they backed a lot of other games, like yeah, they weren't the developer, they were the publisher for a lot of other games though. Like obviously the Doom games, the Wolfenstein games, the Dishonored games, all that. They were the publisher for. Even Redfall, they were the publisher for. But Arcane Studio obviously made it, so it's like, you know. So yeah. He's just a fucking moron and doesn't know what the hell he actually wants. And he expects the world from these game developers, but doesn't actually say, like, hey, here's something I would look forward to playing or something, or here's an ideal of some this or that. Like, that's something that would help, but he doesn't do stuff like that.
Living with these people in a house or something? I would be the quickest elimination in the show.
I mean,
Like,
same.
what the fuck? I don't know what's going
But-
on. Canadian Kirk says, what does she
Like,
do?
I wouldn't last here either.
But anyway, yeah, so it's like,
But I'm also...
it is what it is. He's just a moron and doesn't know what the hell he wants. And then he's trying to think that we're all fans of his somehow. But I'm basically done here. If anyone is watching, feel free to check out Taking L's. They're a really good channel. And they're live right now, so I'm gonna go and make something to
would not
eat,
happen.
maybe play a game or something.
Bring
So,
both of his hips winding up the-
thank you for watching. If you have been watching, hopefully I didn't miss any actual chats or anything like I did last time. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm sorry if this was a little slower than I thought. I thought there was more content in that pre-stream this time, so I guess it's a little hit and miss sometimes for these, because it's like I'm trying to remember which of these pre-streams actually had like gold dust in it or whatever you want to call it, and which ones didn't. So it's a little hit and miss if it's actually going to be like really entertaining or not, because it depends on his pre-stream really. So yeah, see you guys later.